This is the captain. We have a little problem with our entry sequence, so we may experience some slight turbulence and then explode.
Hello and welcome to the Blackdog number 280.
Yeah! Still not 300.
No, still not 300. It's still not 300. No, it's 280. However, 280, it's not 270 something.
No, it's not 180 either.
No, see? So it's all onwards and upwards.
Yeah.
Yes, anyway, I'm Lee.
I'm Darren.
I'm Jim.
I'm Elton.
And this week we're also joined by one other person. Mystery person, introduce yourself.
Prometheus news now.
Oh.
Sorry. Since we're going back in time, I thought I'd throw that one out there.
No, sadly I can't spoil it for certain people in this audience, unfortunately.
Yes,
so I'm not.
You can.
No, I'm not. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Shall I?
No. Jim will put a hex upon you.
Prometheus is people.
Anyway, yes, so welcome to episode 280. Yes, we are joined this week by Herc. We will be having our regular stuff, a bit of a chat about our week. Then we'll be having a shitty superhero, a Profanosaurus.
Yes, indeedy.
And then we'll be moving on to the last of our batshit crazy movie month, which is The Raid, a.k.a. Dread 1.5.
Rubbish.
Anyway, there we go.
Die Hard 3.0.
Well, we'll get to that when we get to that. So, anyway, yeah, so we'll start off with how everyone's week was, and seeing as we have a guest, we'll let him go first. So, Herc, how was your week?
It's been the same old, a lot of work, which is, full of needlessly complicated details, which isn't very good for podcasting at all. So unlike the pop culture stuff, in what is, I think, becoming a regular segment on How Was Your Week, I've been watching Preacher, which I'm really, really enjoying. Obviously I went into that knowing, they can't do everything that's in the comic, because standards, practices, and America's puritanical, blah, blah, blah. But, because I kind of knew that in advance. I didn't set myself up for disappointment. And I'm really, really enjoying it. And it's interesting because there's some things like Cassidy is spot on, 100%, and that's superb. And then Tulip is really, really different, but I think I definitely prefer this version of Tulip. She's great. She's kind of like Han Solo-ish in a weird way. She's got that kind of cocky swagger and just effortless charm, which is so much fun to watch.
I love the smile as well. She's got a certain smile she does when shit's about to go down.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So I'm fully on board with Preacher, and I've also been watching Silicon Valley, which. It was a nice, pleasant surprise because that's really, really funny. And if you listen to Harmontown, then it's got a whole load of Kumail Nanjiani in it, who's superb.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
And then what's the other thing? Oh, Veep, which is by Armando. I can never pronounce it right. Armando Iannucci.
Yes.
Right. And it's the swearing isn't quite Malcolm Tucker levels, but there is still some deliciously creative things in that. And Julia Louis-Dreyfus continues to be a national treasure, and it is really good, really funny, and if you're missing the thick of it, it's totally worth checking out.
Yeah. I am missing the further adventures of Doctor Who in Parliament. I mean, it really is. But cool. Yeah. So Veep. Yeah. I mean, I saw the first series and I really enjoyed it, but then it disappeared off Netflix. So I've got to find some other way of watching it. But there you go. Anything else, sir?
No, it's been a boring week, and we've started late, so I don't want to hold up the show any more than necessary.
Well, there you go. Fair enough. In which case, we shall move on to Jim. Jim, how's your week been?
Reasonably subdued for a variety of reasons I won't get into. Although my psychic powers are still working. Outside my house, there is a huge speed retarding ramp. It's not like a sleeping policeman little bumps. It's a really big one, like 6 foot across, because there's a school over the road. I mean, more than 6 foot across.
Yeah.
However, this doesn't stop people trying to take it at speed. And for some reason, I don't know what's going on, but this week there's been a lot of trucks and lorries just crashing over it and generally annoying me. I'm trying to record. And I was just remarking about this, and I was saying, I don't understand, because a bit further down the road, there is a set of sleeping policemen on one side, not 100 yards away. So people, before they hit the big one, they know it's coming. And fundamentally, the other way, there's a mini roundabout. Right. So you shouldn't be coming at speed. I was just literally saying, there's going to be an accident there one day. Then crash!
No. Oh dear.
And yes, some woman, I don't know how she'd done it. She'd hit that ramp at speed. Bits of her card fall off. She swerved off, crashed into another car. Nobody hurt, thankfully. But she was a very good telling off. I wish I could lip read. There was some very cross policemen talking to her.
Jim, does the outside of your street look like a Spinny the Hubcap family reunion?
Not infrequently. Since living here, I've got used to the come out through. Strange bit of metal on the floor. Some arsehole's been down the road again.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for the motorised chair to hit that thing. Some old dear.
Stephen Hawking taking it at speed.
No, I've seen that happen as well. People are no respecting of a traffic slowing measure. I don't know why. But yeah, it's good to know my psychic powers are still working on top form. So
nice. Cool. Anything else?
That's about it, really.
Fair enough. Okie dokie. Well, then what about you then, Elton?
I got to play Proud Parent this weekend.
Oh, yes.
My son, he plays football every week, and he swapped teams last year after the team folded, and he joined this new team. And within the space of one season, he's now the manager's player of the year and the player's player of the year. So
well
I got
done.
proud daddy syndrome there.
Nice.
And I also watched a time travel film, which I've never seen before.
Go on.
Called 41. Ever heard of it?
Nope, never heard of it.
Oh. No. I would recommend watching it. Have you ever... I take it you guys have seen or heard of Triangle.
Yes. Yeah. With the what's her name from Neighbours? I can't remember her name.
Is she from
Melissa George. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
So when you said Triangle, I thought you meant the 80s TV show about the shipping line. And it must have been a really boring week for you.
Cross-channel ferry, wasn't
exactly,
it?
Exactly. Yeah.
No, it's not that bad. No. There's a quite a good time travel-esque movie called Triangle, which I'm not sure if I like or not. I've watched it a couple of times and I flip-flap between the two. But this 41 is an independent movie, so it's really low budget, but it's kind of a good story up until there's a certain point where it lost me. Not that I couldn't follow it, but it was more of okay, I'm out, but I'll watch the end of it. But I would recommend hunting it down. I think it's on YouTube, so I would if you like time travel movies, because I do, and I would like to watch them all. And so
you don't have the time.
No. Oh,
shit. Oh, damn. I was slow on
Elton, have you seen a film called Frequently Asked Questions About Time Travel?
No, but I'm Googling it now.
Yeah, stick that one on your list.
Frequently asked. Okay.
Isn't there also Safety Not Guaranteed?
Yeah, I need to see that one.
Because that's based on a true story about a guy who actually put an ad in the newspaper saying assistant for time travel wanted, safety not guaranteed. Someone actually answered the ad. which I think sounds, just by that premise alone, sounds wicked. So what's your, actually, just out of interest, what's your top 3 time travel movies? I know Primer's right at the top.
Yeah, Primer's up there. Today I'll wake up and scald myself with tea. I like that one.
What?
Oh, that's that Cheese Dream Czechoslovakian time travel movie you were talking about way back when, wasn't it?
It's flipping wonderful.
I keep meaning to check that out, actually.
Right, okay.
What else would I put in there? Off the top of my head, I can't think. I did like Time Crimes.
Yeah, is that the one with the guy running around with a sack on his head?
Yeah, the Spanish movie.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
That's it,
Yeah.
isn't it?
No. Well, you asked for 3, so there you go, 3.
No. Just
don't get funny with like numbers and stuff. You asked for 3, so you get 3.
all right. Oh,
come back in time and throw another one in if you like.
Yeah, yeah. We got all the time you want. Jeez, blimey, it's going to be one of those nights. I can tell.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm prickly tonight.
Yeah, you are. Clearly. Jesus.
Oh, Elton's evolving to his higher form.
Yeah,
I'm a Pokemon man.
Oh well. Cool. Okay. Anything else, sir?
No, that's it.
Okie dokie. Well then, in which case we move on to you, Mr. Barnard. How's your week, sir?
Well, not exciting. Again, really.
Okay.
Although
I've
finally achieved adulthood because I bought a stepladder to go and do some guttering this week on the outside of my house. Now, I'm pretty sure.
Hold on.
Yeah.
1, 2.
Yeah, I've got all my limbs. No, trust me, I really was kind of careful with this. I could have gone arse over tit forwards into a plate glass window at one point, but managed to save myself.
Think of the cast. You should have done it.
Should have done.
Yeah, man, that'll be a good story.
And then I probably would have been talking to you via a synthesis unit.
You're inside an iron lung.
Exactly.
Okay.
But yeah, I think somebody has been digging a tunnel to freedom and using the guttering around the outside of my house to pack all the fucking dirt. It's like, I didn't realise it was raining mud. It's some sort of biblical event because I got up there and it's just like tons of mud in the guttering.
Yeah.
On the roof.
Yeah.
What the fuck is it doing up there?
It's all the shit that's in the air, man. It just comes down in the rain over time.
What, mud?
Yeah. Yeah, Carol's looking at us.
I'm discussing guttering, yes.
Yeah.
Look, have you seen Time Team? where they dig down like a foot in someone's garden and find the remains of a Tudor house. That's how that mud got on top of it.
That probably is. We were dug up. Yeah, we are living a live time team episode. That's what it is.
Yeah. For those of you who could hear it in the background, Carol was talking incredulously about the fact that we, as 5 grown men, are on a film podcast about being geeky, are talking about guttering.
But we should be talking about, because we are 5 grown men. Damn it.
Nothing. I was talking to an occultist friend of mine the other day about bus timetables. So there you go. How important it is to live on a good bus route at our age.
When I'm trying to summon up Baphomet, I need to know at least when the 136 to Grove Park is coming by. Yeah.
Exactly. But I bet none of you have ever missed a bus because you've been looking at the bus app. I did. It trundled straight by me as I looked up.
Oh, it's saying it's here. Oh, nuts.
It says it should
How's
be...
that for irony? There we go.
It should be due.
And that'll be it then.
There it goes.
But anyway, apart from clearing out the guttering on my roof,
I feel like I should be playing the Last of the Summer.
Yeah, I didn't have to don the Deathstroke uniform to do my traffic warden thing. We've been clear now for a week of any intruders from the driveway. So, there's that.
Okay.
But it's been a little bit of a TV watching week for me.
Really? Your feet up and the slippers on?
Exactly. No, I've been hitting Amazon Prime and sort of like trying out their shows there, and finally finished Vikings, which I've got to say, loved it. Really, really good show. Although the actions of the actual characters in it are very questionable.
Yes.
You know, you can't view these people as heroes at all.
Okay.
You know, but still, very good show. Very good. What else did we watch? Oh, another new show I watched was *Halt and Catch Fire*, which is all about...
is that a sequel to *Halt and Here Is the Who*?
No. *Halt and Catch Fire*. Apparently, I don't know how true this is, but there's a computer instruction, or was a computer instruction. You put it into an IBM machine, and what it would do is it would make all the processes suddenly vie for chief position, so locking up the computer. That's it. And so this is what this is all based on. It's the 80s computer age, shall we say.
Yeah.
Computer age.
Yes.
And it's all about a guy who's trying to beat IBM at their own game. And it's very good. It's all by it's by AMC. I've just did the second episode today. Love it. It's going to be required watching for me.
Cool.
Thirdly, finally got round to watching the new Thunderbirds.
Yep.
Watched a couple of episodes of that. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant. It's really good, well done. It's got the spirit of the original show in it. With these sort of remakes, you can sometimes get a bit wary, especially if it's a show you really like when you were younger or something. But no, this, I think they got right.
Yeah.
Now, we go from the very, very good to the absolutely... I can't even begin to describe it.
Go on.
So, rifling through the darker end of Amazon Prime, I came to something called Beyond.
Okay,
right?
that's
now,
already sounding like a winner.
It's kind of like an Arthur C. Clarke's Mysterious World, but with bad dubbing.
Oh dear.
Okay,
Yeah.
you can see that they've got
What's
this.
it dubbed from?
It's a woman's own voice. They've overdubbed her with her own voice, right?
Right.
Because Jim, you are going to love it, okay? And I highly recommend you just. I lasted 10 minutes before I had to switch the fucking thing off. I really did.
Yeah, that's a challenge, Jim. You can make that. You can beat him.
It's really badly shot, and it's kind of like I think they're trying to prove stuff on this show, but it's the people
you
they
can't tell
get
because
in.
of the dubbing.
Exactly. They've got really bad actors in who you can tell are acting, who are trying to be like these credited sources, and they're quite clearly not. So
unironic dark place.
it is. It's like that. It's actually trying to take itself seriously. I looked through the synopsis, and I'm thinking, surely it's got to say comedy here.
Yeah.
You know,
Greetings, traveller. Is that how she started it?
No, she talks like this. The woman
Gloria
at
Estefan.
the beginning. Yeah, Gloria Estefan all again, and we're going to be talking about UFOs this week. We're talking about ghosts and do they really exist and are they scary? And well, I found one in my toilet one time, but then I looked carefully and it wasn't a ghost. It was actually some cotton wool that I'd left on the side.
Nice.
I'm not joking. It's like you could. She's outside, sort of like looking at the stars. She's speaking, and you can tell that the audio originally wasn't loud enough. So they've got her in a studio trying to lip sync, or should I say, trying to put the audio over her own video.
Right.
And it's just a millisecond out.
Oh, hold on. I think Jim's found it.
Is this the one?
Hold on.
Let's have a quick butchers.
Beyond.
That's it. And what's surprising
it's created by Stephen Rumbelows.
There's 4 fucking seasons.
52 episodes from Canada. Nice.
It's terrible. It's absolutely abysmal.
Oh, well, there you go. Ghosts, poltergeists, hauntings, beyond death, predatory universe, signs, earth signs, heaven, healing part 2. Wow,
Hold on. Season 2, does it say crufts there?
No, cults.
Oh, cults. Sorry. I'm reading it from the head of crufts.
That does need an explanation, I must confess.
They were saving that for season
Until then,
5,
we'll have to
Darren.
do with the best in show. But anyhow.
Yeah. How did this poodle win? It was aliens.
Oh, Jim, they're taking you on your old game there. They've got Old Father Christmas.
Yeah.
I think you've got a challenger there to your crown, mate.
I
very much doubt it.
I don't think so.
You ain't got nothing to worry about, trust me.
Hold on. And I'm going to the Beyond website just in case it pumps up any noise. Hold on. No. Hold on. Oh, here we go.
See, there we go.
Is that her?
Yeah, well, no, that's not her. That's one of the that's one of the professional witnesses. Look at the eyebrows on that bloke. Look at him. He's What's that strange axe grinding noise from that dark room over there?
Hold on. It says, sorry, you can't watch this because it's in the United States.
I could actually probably play the opening here.
No,
Hold on.
it's fine. It's fine.
You sure? Because
Yeah.
I've got it here.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
It.
No.
Are you sure?
Hold on. No, hold on.
I can play it down the microphone.
Hold on. Here we go. Hold on. Oh, this sounds all very spooky. There's a picture of a fish, and then there's a picture
there's
of
a priest.
There's some black and white pictures. Oh, there's a bloke who's just...
Isn't that the bloke off of
I don't know.
Curb Your Enthusiasm there?
It's supposedly a promo, but I haven't seen any... Well, I'm not hearing any dialogue. I don't know if you guys are.
No.
No,
No.
just electro farty noises.
Yeah, that's... Wow, this is bloody awful. Right, okay, well, I'll just stop that. I was hoping there'd be actually something...
There might be if you look for a couple of those. If you look for the one called Ghosts, just...
Ghosts.
Yeah. Has it got one...
Why are we doing this?
I don't know. Beyond Death. There we go. Beyond Death.
Beyond Death.
Beyond Death.
Hold on. Here we go.
You want to know what's beyond death.
Beyond...
No. You
have to
don't want to pay
99p?
99p for it.
99p on YouTube?
I could just play it for free.
No, I think we'll skip it. I'll tell you what, we'll just take it as read that this is shit and we'll move on.
It's fucking shit. And I shall be viewing some more and trying to find the worst of Amazon Prime.
The worst of Amazon Prime, is that going to be your thing?
That's going to be my regular.
Is that what we're going to do for any Patreon thing that we do?
What, the worst of Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
We could do, actually.
The Blackdog presents the worst of Amazon
there's
Prime.
Some real corkers on there.
Turgid shit.
Yeah.
Amazon not Prime.
Amazon not Prime.
Amazon subprime.
Subprime.
Amazon Optimus Prime.
Amazon Prime Real Estate.
Amazon Ripe.
Amazon Prune.
Amazon Prick. Right, anyway.
Last of the Amazon Prime.
Amazon Guttering.
Yeah. Welcome to Darren's Guttering. Sponsored by Amazon Prime.
Oh, hello. You caught me doing me guttering again. Some cheeky bastard's been putting mud in my guttering.
And today, with a trowel and a stepladder that I bought because I am done become an adult, I am going to go up this stepladder and scoop the shit out. Join me.
And I did, and everything's flowing just nicely, thank you. And so's the guttering.
Is that it then?
That's it.
That's it. Right, okay. And so we've got to watch out for Beyond on Amazon Prime. Is that
I would see how long you can last.
Okay.
Post your times on the Facebook page.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. Yeah, get on the Facebook group.
Unfortunately, we can't return any times you send in.
My week has, as far as work's been concerned, has been utterly tedious. So we'll move on from work. The other thing was we had Father's Day.
Of course
we did. And then that was nice. I got woken up with cards and some new vinyl figures for my shelf, including a Gene Wilder in black and white, which is lovely, and a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I'm very happy about that. Really cool. And then I went to my mum and dad's, because Father's Day, go there, that's great. And I spent the whole of that day sitting there fixing my brother's computer, upgrading it to Windows 10. So that was good.
Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. Fix my computer. And then in the evening, came home and we've got an incinerator out back. Which is
this going to be a very tragic end to Father's Day?
No, it's just a fancy.
Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, actually, anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. And basically, what happened was I recreated a famous scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark, whereby where they're in Nepal and they have a fight in the pub, don't they? In the Nepal bar, and then the evil Nazi Tote comes along and he sees the medallion and he puts his hand on it and he goes, Basically, I did that. Because what we did was we had all this wood and we're putting it all in this bin, which is this incinerator. We got it burning, and it was burning really well, and the kids were throwing stuff in there, and it's all cool, and it was, going well. And then what happened was, because we had big long sticks, threw it in there, and one bit dropped off, and it's dropped on the floor. And then there were some more bits that were on the floor, and there's some more bits on the floor. What I hadn't noticed was that also what was on the floor was a little bit of a black stick, which was actually super duper hot. It had actually fallen out of the incinerator. And so I see all these loose sticks on the floor, and I think, right, okay, I'll just pick them. Ah, fucking hell. And so I've got some blisters on the inside of my left hand.
You burnt it then, did you?
Yeah.
Is that where you got blisters on the inside of your hand?
Yeah, that's right.
Really?
I feel like a new woman. So that was fun.
Meet my new girlfriend, Pamela Henderson.
Pamela Henderson and her 5 lovely sisters, and there's all the new bubbles. Anyway, so I've got blisters coming up on my inside of my left hand, which is lovely. And then what else? And then today I had a complete senile moment. Absolutely, I've never worried about my own sanity quite as much as I did today. I got up, I'm strolling around, I'm not feeling 100%. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not feeling 100% right now, but I'm wandering around, and I sort of look out the window and I think, yeah, it looks a bit cold, so I put a jumper on. Then I put a jacket on, and then I come downstairs and I think, I must remember my lunch, put my lunch in my bag. And I get my keys, so I can lock up and go out. And then I think, I know what else I'll do. I'll get my glasses, put them in my coat. And yet somehow I get to the train, get on the train, and realise, A, I shouldn't be wearing a fucking jumper because I'm boiling. Shouldn't be wearing a jacket because I'm boiling. I've forgotten my glasses, I've forgotten my lunch, and I've left my keys in the front door.
And you've got no trousers on.
Yeah. I am completely like, what just happened? What is going on here? I'm like a mad old bastard wandering through blazing 26-degree sunshine with a jumper and a leather jacket on top of a shirt, which is also on top of a t-shirt, and no glasses, no keys, no lunch. But I'm confused.
Well, look on the bright side. At least you remembered the trousers.
Well, actually, now you mention it, there was a lot of screaming before finally this lovely man in a big yellow high-vis jacket gave me some spare ones. No, so I think I'm going insane. I think I'm losing my marbles.
Haven't we done some shitty superhero had memory-based powers? Is this some sort of strike back?
Yeah,
from the Memory Master or Amnesia Man.
Yeah, the memorandum or something like that. Yeah. So but other than that, now I'm going to forget what I was doing. Yeah, and
he strikes again. No one is safe.
Who are you?
I can't remember if you have done a memory-based superhero. He's getting to me.
Oh, Jim, no. Yeah. No, what I did was I watched Bridge of Spies, which was very good. If a little bit slow, but it was good. One of those good old. It almost was a Le Carre movie, but it wasn't quite. And nicely directed, and everyone's very good in it, and passes the time of day lovely. We've started watching Supergirl.
Right.
Yeah, because I watched a couple of them, but now we've got them as a series, a box set. So started watching those, enjoying those.
It's very good.
Yeah. And what else? Oh, I got XCOM Enemy Unknown on the Xbox.
Same.
And I'm finding it ridiculously easy, because when I played it on the PC, my characters would just walk out in front of bad guys, and you just hear, and it'd be like, you're dead. And it's like, oh, crap. But now I seem to be like able to just handle it.
I've got a strategy for that anyway. I'm playing it. I've got my strategy down pat. I hide all my blokes in an alleyway and I send one out. And they sort of like they get the creature's attention. And they follow him all the way back to the alley, and then all my blokes give him a good fucking kicking as soon as they get round
all your men are just standing there with a sock full of coins,
like in the corner, knee in the face.
Strategy.
Any other strategy, I'm shite at it. But with that, Yeah,
Oh, the humanity.
exactly.
Have you ever seen anything? Yeah, apart from that, stuff might have happened, but I can't fucking remember. Oh, no. Actually, I know. No, I just remembered. Yes.
Are you
yes.
sure?
Remembered he burned his hand.
Yeah, no, I burnt my hand. No, I went to see The Secret Life of Pets.
Ah.
A preview screening of it. And I don't know if you've seen the trailers of it, but it's the one where basically you see all the
Yes,
owners go out and then you see the poodle doing the heavy metal kind of thing. The kids enjoyed it. I'll be honest with you, that's fine. And that's kind of it. Target audience hit.
Yeah.
But if you go there to see it because you liked the trailer, I tell you what, take all of the dialogue out of the trailer, slam the whole bit together, and then play that 20 times at high speed for 90 minutes. That's what the film is like. Literally, not a single frame goes by where someone doesn't get hit, fall off of something, make a weird face, fart, smash their face into something, someone shouts, they fall off something else falls on them, they crash, they bang, they fall over something else. It's just relentless. And you just think, just stop moving for 1 second, for God's sakes. It's even one really emotional scene, you know, sort of your typical Pixar sort of Disney thing where someone finds out someone's dead or left alone or abandoned, and there's always this kind of quiet moment of just one person doing the big puppy eyes going woo kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Doesn't even bother with that. You have oh no, this poor puppy has been well, I won't tell you what's going on. And you're like, and the music starts going, doom, 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 doom. When you think, okay, here we go. Kid's going to be crying in 2 seconds. Prepare yourself. Just as it gets to the proper sad bit, and they go, let's just say, for example, it's not the actual storyline, but let's just go, your owner's dead, like this, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that. As soon as you think, right, okay, that's terrible, what happens? A car comes around the corner, a bloke goes, there they are, get them! And everyone runs off, and it's like back on the chase again for another 90 minutes.
I thought you were going to say the corpse has a prolapse or something
No,
like
but
that.
it's not a dead owner. But I'm just saying, I'm not spoiling anything. I'm not trying to spoil anything. I'm just making a hypothetical. But the thing is, everything, just not a second. There's even a bit where someone says, oh, where's Max, the hero? Where's he gone? And you see all the characters working out that he's missing. And every single one comes with a pratfall of someone falling off a shelf, someone falling off a door, someone walking into a wall. Where's Max? Dumph. Where's Max? Plant pot falls on their head. Where's Max? Oh, I've tripped over. Where's Max? Oh, I've run in front of a car. Oh, it's just like, stop fucking moving for a second. Please. Literally, I went numb after about 15 minutes. I was just like, I don't care anymore. But it was Toy Story, basically. Toy Story with animals.
Feels like animation, and that type of animation, the computer-generated stuff, has really gone stagnant in the last couple of years.
Right.
I haven't seen a good one for a long, long time.
Have you seen Inside Out?
Yes.
And you didn't? What did you think of that?
I didn't like that at all. For reasons.
Okay. Yeah.
Because of the
Content.
subject matter.
Okay, that's cool. But the point is, in something like Inside Out, there's events that happen, and they give an emotional weight and time because you get this moment of kind of like, and here's the scene, and take a breath, and people talk, and dialogue happens. But if it was Secret Life of Pets, the scene in Toy Story 2 where Jessie, the cowgirl, gets left by the side of the road, would have literally seen the car go around the corner, and another car would have come round behind her, and immediately 3 people would have gone, there she is, get her! And she would have run off, and there would have been a 20-minute chase scene. It's just like, fuck my old boots. Just trust that kids can take a breath.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so Secret Life of Pets is out this week. See it if you like.
There's a full quote for the poster.
See it if you must. So there you go. That's my week. Yeah, eminently forgettable movie. So, but I tell you what isn't forgettable. Any type of shitty superhero. Roll those credits.
Shitty superheroes fly into a wall. Shitty superheroes, they're not cool at all. Great big bunch of losers going nowhere fast, trying to fight bad guys, falling on their ass. Try to tell them stop, but they don't understand that we suffer. Shitty heroes go away. Yeah.
Right, okay, yes, I still haven't put a death ending on the end of that jingle. I know. Just leave it. Leave it. Right, okay, so this week's shitty superhero. And once again, can't help it. I'm starting to get emails in from other people, and I can't help but go back to this well. So this will be the last one for this time, and I'll be picking other people's emails up as we go for the next couple of weeks. But this week we are back at the Hostess Snack Cake shitty superheroes via Jack Woodgate. And, well, I tell you what, I could just read this straight out to you, because the title just tells you all you need to know about these hero, villains, whatever you want to call them. It's a Marvel one, and it is Thor versus the Dingaling family. Right, here we go. So I'll just read this out to you. By some mysterious quirk of space and time warp, the Dingaling family is thrust into Thor's Asgardian orbit. The family leaves behind a trail of evil doing on Earth. Grandma Dingaling...
Pick up after themselves.
Exactly. Disgusting. Grandma Dingaling leads them in a swooping silently up behind the Asgardians. And then there's Thor standing there, and there's all these weird hillbillies in a boat going, "Let's get them, kin, or catch them, or our names are not Dingaling." And then there's Thor going, "We know not what provoketh these strange family, but if thou dost come amongst us with unpleasantness in thy hearts." And then there's Thor Odin going, "With unpleasantness shall be met, and then some." And then there's a sort of Aunt May going, "By cranky, that purty-haired yellow fella's the leader. That's Hornswoggle him, and the rest'll be a piece of cake." And then there's another hillbilly going, "Okay, Pa, Auntie, sister, brother, cousin, B, Ba, and Grandma, you're all dingalings. Hold him still and so I can get him a bead on with my atomic shotgun."
What?
So there's a bunch of hillbillies now holding on to him. Yep, they found it. There you go, you found it.
Oh, I found it all right.
Anyway.
Dear me.
Then Thor's going, "Thy familiar bonds are indeed strong. Pity 'tis misspent on evil, but 'tis naught before the fierce might power of the mystic mallet Mohair. Meow meow.
Monia.
Meow meow.
Monia.
Yeah. But what's this? The cousins they calleth be by resisteth the hammer." And then there's a guy hanging off his back going, "Hee-haw, cousin, I think we got him. Sure enough, cousin, it's a cousin power secret weapon. Nothing can resist it, except when our hands wander a bit and we lose the concentration and we goof up on ourselves."
Can you read all that in a home counties accent? Because I think that would go down a lot better.
Oh, all right then, fair enough. Then you've got an Asgardian lady going, hold on. Lay then, 'tis but child's play to use the ploy and abstract the cousins B and by and B will undoing. 'Twill be their undoing. And let's go. They look at that cousin B. I can't do that accent. I can't do it with his voice. Go,
No, you're supposed to do it. Look at that, cousin B.
Look at that.
I do believe we have him in it.
Yes.
Let's have a hoedown.
Say, cousin B, what are we saying? Oh, looky here. It's a delicious hostess, a fruit pie, apple, and cherry, and great light tender crust filling. Cousin B, I can't recollect what we were talking about, but this couldn't have been half as interesting as these mouth-watering hostess fruit pies. And then there's the grandma in the background going, "You fools! We almost had the yellow-haired one in our power, you dumb cousins." And then Four's going, "Forsooth, me lady, not so dumb. You should have known if they had we had yon delicious snack." And then there's another bloke going,
Ray Winston is Thor.
"Yeah, now,
slag.
Now, home to Odin. Be sure to save us the hostess fruit pies, for there is great ones to enjoy." In it, says Odin.
Because they is in it.
Yeah. So there you go.
They did done be the hostess cupcake.
Yeah, there's Thor with his yeah. Even I would not see thee suffer such indignities, brother. So yeah, there you go. Thor was taken down by two inbred hillbillies and an old nan on a boat in interstellar space.
Yeah, for the listeners, the Dingaling family looks exactly how you would expect them to look. Imagine someone who loves their Second Amendment rights, and you're pretty much spot on.
Yeah. Very good at playing banjos, and it's really handy that hostess fruit pies have fruit smoothie inside them because it looks like they drink applesauce through a straw.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it looks like they fuck food.
Well, to be quite honest, I think their nan is their sister and their cousin at the same time.
You got to print him off.
Yeah. Yeah, so, well, what do we think of the Dingaling family, everyone? Will we be seeing them in Thor Ragnarok, do you think?
I think so. They've got a cameo role in there somewhere.
Defeated by hostess fruit pies.
Maybe it's going to be Stan Lee's cameo appearance in Thor Ragnarok. It's the Dingaling family. Grandpa Dingaling.
Hello, true believers.
I was wondering why they're called Dingaling.
I don't know, but I remember.
Ding, 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 ding,
I
ding.
just think of that.
Oh,
Chuck,
yeah,
Possibly.
I just think of that Chuck Berry song, "My Dingaling."
Yeah, was that before or after he got arrested for putting cameras inside toilet stalls?
I don't know.
And that was during.
Yeah. My dingaling, I want you to play with my dingaling. You dirty old man.
Yep.
Anyway, so there you go. That's that's a shitty superhero for this week. So thank you again, Jack, and rest assured we will be revisiting the Hostess Twinkie hero comics for many years to come. But right now we'll leave it until we get through a few of the other ones supplied by other listeners. But if you do want to supply any shitty superheroes, do send them in to blackdog@geekplanetonline.com. Right, Jim.
Yes.
Shall we get away from inbred hillbilly space monkeys eating hostess cakes and
If we must.
if you insist, and perhaps have one of your profanosauri.
Indeedy. Raid redemption. Euphemism. Modern day slang for an extraordinary, almost unbelievable bit of luck. Such as, despite being in a building full of discarded automatic weapons and literally thousands of rounds of ammunition, the thugs trying to kill you will not use a single one of these firearms and just let you do your fancy-dancy high karate instead.
Okay. Well, I think we've spotted the plot hole in that.
Yep.
Once again, Jim gives us a preview of how he feels about a film using the power of the Profanosaurus. Brilliant. Thank you very much for that, sir. Okie dokie. And
It was cleaner than the one I had for going out for a takeaway. But anyhow.
okay. Save that one for the Christmas reel. Okay, well, I guess it's time to move on to this week's Batshit Crazy Movie Month. Batshit Crazy Movie Month.
Cunt on my forehead.
Right, okay. So, Batshit Crazy Movie Month comes to a conclusion with this week's film, The Raid. Okay, The Raid. I've had all the figures and I dropped them all down on the screen, so here we go. So, directed by Gareth Hugh Evans, who, as we've now established from last time, did not direct Godzilla. Nor did he direct Star Wars or anything.
Nor did he appear in Nescafe ads in the New Avengers.
No, he didn't do that. He didn't do any of that stuff.
And neither was he Blake in Blake 7. Either.
No. He wasn't any of that. So, anyway, Gareth Evans directed it, and it was written by Gareth Evans, and it was starred. Okay, here we go. Oh, for goodness!
Sean Connery accent.
Yes. Stars Iko Iwuwe. Oh, fuck this!
I didn't know Edward Wood was in it.
Yeah, well, it is. How would you?
Iwa.
Iko Wuwe. Uways or UI or US or US. Look,
it stars some people.
It stars some people, including a guy called Ray. There you go. It was released in 2011 at the Toronto Film Festival, and then later got a full release on the 23rd of March 2012. It had a budget of 1.1 million. How much did it make at the box office? Herc.
A healthy 20 million.
Okay, Jim.
10 million kicks to the bollocks.
Okay, Elton.
15 million.
And Dow.
I say 30 million.
Right. Okay. It actually did earn 9.14 million. Not a lot at all. Right. Following the film Merantu, Gareth Evans and his producers began work on a Silat movie called Berendal, Indonesian for Thugs. A large-scale prison gang movie intended to star not only Merantu's actors Iko Uwais and those people, but also an additional pair of international fight stars. A teaser trailer was shot, but the project proved more complex and time-consuming than anticipated. After a year and a half, Evans and the producers found themselves with insufficient funds to produce Berendal, and so they changed the film to a simpler but different story with a smaller budget. They called the project Serbian Maut, or The Raid. Producer Ario Sagantoro considers the film to be lighter than Merantal, and Gareth Edwards also considers it to be a lot more streamlined, stating that Merantal was more of a drama while The Raid is more of a survival horror film. Pre-production took 4 months, which included finalisation of the script, which included translation of the original English-language script into Indonesian. The work on the choreography for the fight sequences, which were designed by the actors whose name I'm not going to pronounce. The actors that made up the key members of the police squad were also sent to boot camp military training with the KOPASKA, where they learned how to use weapons and perform strategic attacks and defense techniques. Filming began in March 2011, and The Raid was shot on a Panasonic blah blah blah. All guns were used were airsoft replicas to avoid costs associated with having to deal with firearms licenses and health and safety. All the shots of the guns in action were cycling. Muzzle flashes were added digitally. Not a lot else was added there in the production. There's a lot about the music which I won't bother with. The film was released by Sony Pictures worldwide, and the critical response is highly positive. Rotten Tomatoes has the film score of 85% based on 143 reviews by critics, with an average score of 7.5 out of 10. The website consensus is it's no frills and all thrills. See what I did there? The Raid Redemption is an inventive action film expertly paced and edited to maximum entertainment. Roger Ebert gave the film a single star out of 4, however. He criticised the lack of character depth and noted that the Welsh director Gareth Evans knows that there's a fanboy audience for his formula, in which the special effects amp up the mayhem to senseless carnage. Ebert himself was criticised for this assessment of the film and later published a defence of his reviews. We've done the box office. It earned a shit ton of accolades, including Indonesian version of the Golden Globes, which it got 10 nominations, and the Citra Awards, which is the Indonesian equivalent of the Oscars. There was an American remake in the works, but that got basically nixed, and there was a sequel called Raid 2, Berendal. Other media, the comic book was based on the Raid, released in 2012, and a stop-motion 60-second video depicting the plot of the Raid using cats was made out of clay. There you go.
Of course it was.
Of course it was. That's the entire complete thing. That's it.
This is a poor wiki. It doesn't have a section on the shoes or anything.
No, it doesn't. It's terrible. Maybe if they filmed the Raid Star Trek edition, there would have been like a 65-page dialogue on like why someone looked the way they did. The one thing I do know from prior research is that the whole thing relating to the dread thing, because that's bound to come up in feedback and as we discuss it ourselves, Gareth Edwards didn't know that was being done until one of his effects men came off of Dread, which was filmed first, came off of that, and then went and carried on working with him, and then informed him of the storyline, to which Edwards basically went, oh shit, it's too late now, we have to get it out, I guess we have to get it done quickly. So basically to release it at the same time. So essentially it is a massive coincidence. How much of a massive coincidence, I'm not entirely sure. Plus the fact that now Edwards himself actually says that there was some crossover between, film crew members. Also, the whole thing though comes from another film which I can't remember. It's like a B-movie film from 1970 something called like something like Fortress America, which is the idea of someone working their way up a building. I will find the actual title. It's not Fortress America, but it sounds something like that. But it's something that we are never going to review, because even just looking at the case of this cover of this thing just looks like it's just like someone with a bunch of crayons just basically decided to draw their mum with a gun. And
that could be a good 80s film.
Yeah.
Mum with a gun.
Mum with a gun. The other thing was, as mentioned in the wiki, the fight style was something called silat, which is an Indonesian type of fighting, which, as we've seen from the film, is quite a dirty, get down, elbow people in everything, and punching everyone as much as possible and kneeing people as much as possible. Not really a kung fu person, can't really say, but
like if it's Krav Maga, is that what they call it?
I don't know. What film was he in?
No, it's a style of fighting they used in Batman Begins.
It's the Israeli Special Forces.
That's the one, yeah.
Oh well, there you go. So that's about all I know. I mean, there's probably some stuff on IMDb that I can dig up, but not while we're recording.
No.
So while we're doing it, let's get on with it. So guests obviously first. So Herc, what did you think of the Raid?
I found it really quite refreshing. It was just like an old school action movie, which just didn't even really have pretense of a plot, which is fine if the film's like upfront about that. And also it was, because it's an action movie, it was kind of nice to like finish it and not be thinking to myself, or like not have a thought during the film where I'm just basically thinking, oh, for fuck's sake, not another rape scene. So that was refreshing, I have to say.
Yeah.
But the thing that I liked the most about it is, you know, when you're watching like not necessarily kung fu movies, but any films with a lot of hand-to-hand action, and the way it's filmed, it's like they hit someone and then, you know, that they just kind of keep moving. Like, I find that I'm always just thinking, hang on, he's hit that guy. He should be getting up in like 5 or 6 seconds, and they never come back to them.
Yeah.
But with this, like, every time I thought that, the camera and the like character would go back in the other direction and like finish him off, which that brought so much goodwill with me. Like, I really like loved the kind of attention to detail of that choreography.
Yeah.
And also, I have to say the turning the fridge into a bomb was pretty fucking badass. That was really, really cool.
Yeah, nuking the fridge for real.
Yeah. And I am curious about something. Like, I couldn't work it out, but did they record the dialogue like with the Indonesian speaking actors speaking in English and then redubbed them with English, or did they record it in Indonesian?
It was
because like the lip syncing actually seemed pretty good.
No, it was recorded in Indonesian. Because basically, I did find this bit out. But when Gareth Evans was talking to Mayo and Commode when this film first came out, he literally was on set and being the only person who spoke English, and so he was having to speak via a translator to everyone. And some of the actors had sort of smatterings of English. So there was this kind of everyone's muscling through, and then when it turned out it was just going to be fights, I think he just kind of left them to it and just staged the camera. But it was all filmed in Indonesian, and then all the English dub. If you watched an English dub version, then that was all much later.
Interesting, because the dub, like the like, not the sound quality, but like the actual syncing to the lips was actually kind of alright. But anyway, I think the only thing which, like, because I remember when it first came out, like, no one, you know, like, it just kind of, all the hype to it, like, occurred, like, just all in one burst. And it kind of got, like, hyped to, like, this is the most extremely violent, like, hyper hardcore, intense thing you'll ever see. And, like, I still had a little bit of that left. Like, it died down a fair bit, but I was still expecting a little more kind of, I don't know, I guess brutalness than I got. But it was like, on that level, I was a little bit underwhelmed, but like not disappointed. And I guess the only other thing is the ending was a bit abrupt, but I mean that's fine. Like, it didn't. The film didn't do anything unnecessary. There was no, like, you know, comedic sidekick or perfunctory, like, love interest or you know, betrayals and bullshit like that. Oh, and also, this doesn't sound like too strange, but compared to other films which have a lot of like hand-to-hand fighting, this felt kind of grounded because it didn't do any of that thing where you're, like, you know, doing cartwheels over the environment and turning the whole, you know, set into like a giant jungle gym. And I think like the absence of that alone actually kind of grounded it for me, but it's just a personal thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I give it like 2 thumbs up because it was also close to 90 minutes, which, you know, the older I get, you know, I think that might just be an automatic like 1 thumb up, and then just don't fuck up the rest of the film, and that's 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, it's made 90 minutes, and I didn't. Yeah, again, it's getting old. It's that whole getting old thing. It's like, oh, for God's sakes, I'm just like sitting there going, oh God, it's over in 90 minutes. Hurrah! I don't care the quality anymore. So, okay, cool. Right, well, moving on then. What about you, Jim?
Well, this is a first-time watch for me. Actually, Herc reminded me why I put off watching it, because I'd heard about it. I thought, oh, that sounds interesting. Then I heard more and more and more about it, and I thought this might be a case of, I'll put this one on the back burner until the hype dies down. Because I've seen some pretty extreme and violent things. I'm sure this probably isn't. Well, you know, things usually have to be exceptional to measure up to the hype. And it was kind of, I mean, regards to box office, I think people discovered this on DVD.
Yeah.
And when I was releasing DVD, people, oh my God, I just watched The Raid. I'm exhausted. And, you know. In fairness, I mean, watching it sort of fairly fresh, as it were, it does have an enormous energy to it. The fight scenes were just superb. I mean, to go to the Dredd thing, just forget Dredd. This is someone who watched that corridor scene in Old Boy and thought, let's do a whole movie like that.
Yeah.
That was my thought. That's the spiritual ancestor of the Raid. Is the corridor scene in Old Boy.
That's right. Just no hold back. Just.
Well, I think this film, Old Boy and Daredevil, prove that the best fights are held in a corridor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so.
It's like all the good parties are in kitchens. All the best fights are in corridors.
That is the TV series Daredevil, by the way, not the film Daredevil.
Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, carry on, Jim.
Yeah. However, I did find just about 10 minutes from the end, I was just like, I'll just kick him in the bollocks and finish this.
Oh, right. Is that the fight with the mad dog?
Yeah. I mean, I can't. I feel bad saying it because it was such a well done fight. But my problem with it was kind of. It's what comes after that as well. It was at that point the film was starting just to deflate. It's not tremendous energy, but it was just kind of like, okay, we get it. You know, you can wrap this up now, lads. But it had kind of the flaw that we've seen, I think, in nearly all the films, probably bar Kung Fu Hustle in this season, is that it suffers from what I'm going to create and dub as spinal tap syndrome.
Yeah.
Now, if you start your film at 10 and then turn it up to 11 midway, you've got nowhere to go for the big climax.
Yeah.
And so the end of the film was just a bit kind of, You're like, what? You know, it's kind of, I really want one of those bigger hundreds of people getting kicked in the head scenes nearer the end. And it feels, I just kind of, maybe partly I think it's just trying to keep up with a film like this. After a while, you can just get punch drunk.
Yeah.
And with that last boss fight, it was kind of, just finish him now. Come on.
Yeah.
You really need to all go a lot bigger and have him turn into a dragon. You've got to really just really kick it up into the stratosphere, or not just knock it off now. You know, because after a while, you know, it's kind of, it can get monotonous. As exciting as that's true of anything in cinema. You know, car chases, fights, whatever. It's kind of, once it goes past a certain point, it becomes boring. If you keep on doing it, it becomes funny. If you keep on doing it, it'll become boring. If you keep on doing it, it'll become brilliant. But the Raid doesn't quite take it that far with that last scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound like I got a down on the film, because I did really enjoy it. Yeah, I know there's not much plot, and I don't really care, because it's clearly that's not what this film's about. And it is kind of right. If you want a film that is high octane action, well, this one it's a hard act to beat. But just for me, just the last 10 minutes, I just sort of felt just exhausted and just kind of not let down by it, but I felt either me or the film ran out of energy, probably a bit of both. And I just think it needed one last killer punch at the end. It didn't quite land.
Okay, cool. Well, that's an interesting point of view, yeah. So how about you, Elton?
Okay, this is my first time coming round to this as well.
I should have done that, shouldn't I? I should have asked who's seen it before.
Yeah.
But
I have seen Dredd a few times before watching this, so I think I'm coming to this from a point of love, because I've learned to love Dredd. I wasn't impressed with it first, and then it grew and grew on me. I flipping love this. This was wicked. This was really good. It's the best of the four that we've done for me.
Right. Okay. Cool.
I thought the pacing was great, and the tension with the music as well. The music really worked with that.
The score was top notch. Top notch stuff.
But it worked so well to build up scenes and the tension in them scenes as well. It just worked so well. There was a couple of wonky bits with the timeline and etc. There was a bit where the guy was running his machete down the walls and opening the doors. And there was some guys hiding behind the wall. And they seemed to be hiding behind the wall for ages because there was other fights going on. And it just didn't line up with me as well as what I thought it would. I like the ambiguity between it was mentioned that one of the guys was a mad dog and another guy was really calm, but then he'll blow his top.
Yeah.
And when you first meet the three main bosses, shall we say, you're not sure what one it is. And I like that. That was a nice little curveball there. Saying that, I don't think they used the main boss enough.
No.
He was quite a shallow character and it wasn't built up enough. And when it comes to his demise, you don't feel anything for it. There's no loss. You're not sat there going, oh, damn, I wish I'd done... wish I got to the end of his story. There was no story for him, I felt.
No.
But with the violence, I feel the violence in this, it suited its environment, whereas it was a grim, dark and dirty place. And the fighting really set that off. It didn't seem out of place. There wasn't a lot of wire work. When you see the wire work, the problem with that is you can see it straight away. And when they did use that, I noticed it. But they didn't use it as much as what they could have done.
No.
There were
it's
some
like
scenes...
Herc said they had it sort of grounded.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable fighting, but it's a grounded, unbelievable fighting.
Yeah. Yeah, but...
It's believable, unbelievable fighting.
It's
rather than
absurd,
unbelievable,
but it obeys the
unbelievable.
laws of physics.
It does, but I found some of the fights... Because there was a fight where one of the bosses had a gun on a guy and he chaperoned him into a room for one of his main fights.
Yeah.
And remarkably, the whole room was clear. It was as if they were fighting on a stage, and that felt a bit wrong.
I hate to inform you about this, but they were fighting on a stage.
No, I know what you mean. There was kind of like, they go into a room, there's one table in the room, like, someone's going to get hit over the head with that in a minute.
Yeah. The staging on this is very obvious. There's one table, one chair. That chair looks...
It was Chekhov's barroom brawl, you know what I mean? There is a table, a chair and a fridge in this room. They will all be used in acts of extreme violence in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah. Countdown. Yeah.
I just found that put me off a little bit. I think also with the when he went into that room, it was very noticeable that they'd tried to weather up the room, and it just didn't feel as real as, let's say, the corridors had felt.
Yeah.
The corridors felt really intense, as if you were in a building, and then it was all bang. Okay, right now we're on the stage to do this scene. It just felt a bit. Didn't work for me on that. What else? The final fight was good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But it got to the point where, okay, one man's down, so the other man's attacking. Oh, he's just beaten him just in time for the other man to start attacking him. And it's just a bit too choreographed, should we say? You know, when we look at the Phantom Menace and the fighting in that, the lightsaber fights, it now seems over choreographed.
Yeah.
As if, everyone says it, they're not trying to kill each other, they're just trying to hit the lightsabers at the certain points. And that's what this felt like.
Okay.
A little bit. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
Okay. Cool. Right, well then over to you, Mr. Barnard.
This is one of the few films I find never gets old for me. Every time I watch it, I'm engrossed in it. I like the fact that it's not got loads and loads of character development, and it's just action all the way. Because it is a fucking it's a relentless movie.
Mm.
You know, I love good fight choreography, and this film has got it by the bucket load.
Yeah.
You know, one of my favourite bits in this, and I've never seen this done in any fight scene in any film, is the bit where we're in the corridor and he literally grabs that bloke by the shoulders, leaps up backwards through the air and brings him down on the broken door.
Death by door.
That's fucking ace. I love it. I know there's been some stuff said about the final battle, and it is like, you know, two blokes going against the Terminator.
Yeah.
But it's so very satisfying when they finally finish it as well. It's that whole thing of putting the final punch to that bad guy.
Yeah.
And taking him down.
Well, yeah, telling him to... I mean, it was missing a sort of one liner of sort of like stabbing him through the neck with the tube.
Yeah.
Stabbing him through the neck with a tube, and then go with the the fluorescent tube, and then going, lighten up. You know, it was just missing that. Sorry, I just carry on.
Lights out, motherfucker.
Oh shit! Hold on. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that was a bright idea.
So,
or you could say, I think he's seen the light.
Any more bright ideas?
That's the last time you... Sorry, go on.
Oh, nuts.
Oh, it's all gone wrong.
It was going to happen, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was going to say, what's beating him?
We'll be seeing his death on YouTube.
That's the last time you neon anyone in the balls.
Oh, he really lamped him one.
I asked him, what's his favourite building in London? He said, the Shard.
Oh, my mercy.
Are we done? Can I shrink this window down again?
You can shrink the window down.
I can shrink the window down. The window is down. Right, carry on with your with your feedback, Dal.
Yeah. I again, it's basically just one fight after another, and I just loved it. I thought it was really, really good. I thought I love the tense bit when they're in the stairwell.
Yeah,
and it's all sort of like, you know, it's pitch black literally below a certain point, and the guys with the guns can't see the police officers, and then that stupid dick fucking lets off the shotgun, and it lights everything up, and then that's it. Literally massacres his mates.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so cool.
Yeah, that was very well staged. That was a lovely bit. Because at first you think, why aren't they shooting them? And then you suddenly realise they can't see them. And it was just lovely the way they did that sort of flip-flop of the perspectives.
Yeah. Great stuff. Even, was it Scary Dude, Goggly-Eyed Dude as
Mad
well.
Dog.
No, not Mad Dog. There was another bloke who looked pretty fucking mental.
Oh, the one with the machete, the leader of the machete
the one
gang.
who literally never blinks.
Yeah.
Right, he must have sort of like eyes made of marble or something because, you know.
Mainline's coffee every morning.
Yeah. He's got sort of like, you know, false eyes but real pupils. It's just that kind of thing.
Actually, that was the look on my face as the train pulled out and I realised everything I'd done this morning or hadn't done.
What that was.
Where's my lunch? Where's my keys?
So it's very satisfying when he fucking buys it as well.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there was some cunts who got it big time in that.
Yeah.
So,
Can you remind me how he bought it? I can't remember.
It turns into the big fight, doesn't it? With the
there's four of them.
There's four of them, and he goes down the corridor. He gets backed into a corridor. The main character gets backed into a corridor that's a dead end.
Another corridor.
Yeah, another corridor, which is a dead end, and he realises he's got nowhere else to go, and then he basically goes through all of them, doesn't he?
That's
and
right. Yeah.
And he that's when he takes the guy out with the door, but then he takes out the main guy with the goggly eyes by basically jumping out of a window.
That's
and
right,
using
yeah.
his body as a brake on the outside stairwell.
That's right, yes. Oh, that bit where they kick that bloke off the ledge in the passageway, and you see his back hit the concrete thing, and he literally bends in half.
Yeah, exactly.
But the wrong way.
Yeah, exactly. It was a real dark night. What was it? Nightfall.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when
that one's going to leave a mark.
It's when the main character, he's doing the knife work as well, and he manages to get the knife in on the punches and stuff.
Yeah.
And you see him cut, and it's just the way he's just lightning all over the place.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. There's like no slowdown there whatsoever.
No. Cool.
Me, it's just a simple, plain, straightforward story, and I've got to agree with the earlier comment. It's my favourite out of the
four we've done.
Batshit Crazy Month. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. For me, I mean, I really enjoyed it this time round. The last time I watched it, I really enjoyed it, but this time I think because I kind of knew what was coming, I was able to just kind of go right, just hit me with it. The only thing I did feel was pretty much what Jim was feeling, which is when you got to that fight with the mad dog at the end, it's like you can't go anywhere with this fight anymore. You can't get any more stupid.
Into a dragon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, where's the smoke monster rising from his body with eyes aglow? You know?
He turns into Mad Dog Zord.
Exactly.
There we go.
No, exactly. That's what it reminded me of. It reminded me of Power Rangers because the thing was all the way up to that, everyone's taking a kick to the face and sort of going down, getting up, but slowly getting up, and then going down again, and then the third time's kind of the charm, and they're out. But that bloke took... I mean, when he took the bloody neon tube to the neck, and he still carried on fighting and beating the shit out of the pair of them.
He's a badass mother.
Yeah, well, at that point, I was kind of like, okay, next up... Magic wizard appears underneath the floor. I mean,
they're going to kick him, and the flap will open the back, and the Duracell battery will fall out.
Yeah, exactly. or he'll burst into flames, and there'll be a robot underneath or something.
A quick poll: in a fight between Mad Dog and Black Dynamite, who would win?
Oh, Black Dynamite threw
Black
that ship.
Dynamite easily.
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah, he threw that ship before he entered the room.
Mad Dog, you done fucked up now.
I threw that shit before I entered the room. Yeah, but
I am smiling.
I mean, so for me, the film was great. The film was great entertainment. It was just literally you're just sitting there going, ooh,
yes,
but almost. A bit like my criticism with Life of Pets, it just didn't stop, and so you found yourself at times just going, just take a breath, just take a breath. And when it did stop, with that scene where he's in the false wall, and and a knife comes through, I loved that. I thought, I mean, it's awful. It was one of those kind of really super tense moments, but when it's sort of like the blade goes and it cuts his cheek, and he's sitting there trying to wipe the blood off as it's coming off his cheek, and it's just that level of tension was kind of almost kind of a welcome break because it was a different kind of tension. You're watching the fight, and you're kind of like you're sitting there going punch him, and all this way through you're kind of going don't be detected, don't be detected, don't be detected, and that was cool. And I have to say, my favourite fight in the whole thing was actually the head guy of the military unit when he goes up against Mad Dog, because when it first kicks off, you're kind of like, okay, now we're going to get to see the main guy.
Jacker.
Yeah, we're going to see him.
That was good.
We're going to see him basically kick this guy's ass, and then we're going to sort of establish a kind of like, okay, our hero is good, but this guy's fucking rock hard. You know, our main leader. So when it all goes. It sort of seems to go all right, and then it goes tits up, and it's like, oh no, don't kill him, no, don't kill him.
I liked his character.
Shit. But that was kind of like my only time when I ever regretted anyone dying at all in that entire film. I was just sitting there going, right, okay. And the problem was that after seeing that fight, the fight with Mad Dog, between the main character and his brother and Mad Dog, suddenly didn't seem right. Because you'd already seen Mad Dog kicked all around the room by Jacker. And it's like, well, that actually makes sense. You know, this guy's just a better fighter and Jacker lost. So when it comes down to the main guy coming in, our main character, whose name I still can't remember, is it Rama or Rana?
Yeah,
Rama.
Rama.
So when Rama comes in and then he's going to face down Mad Dog, you think, right, now we're going to see the fight and this guy's going down. But then it turns into this sort of like 20-minute Kung Fu Hustle condensed down into 15 minutes. The whole of Kung Fu Hustle condensed down into 15 minutes. And you're just like, oh, for God's sakes, someone have a broken bone, a broken toenail, anything. What's going on here? You know, everyone's become Superman. And so that did kind of, and then to kind of have that whole thing fall apart because of, you know, obviously made for Western audiences, man comes in and says, oh, I'm double-crossing everyone. That was just a bit weird. That was just such a weird ending. But otherwise, I really enjoyed this. I mean, it's not a lot to say about it. You just kind of dig the fighting and you just sit back and watch loads of carnage. But carnage that was done in such a wonderfully balletic way. Like I say, I just wish there'd been a bit more inventive gunplay sort of environment usage. You know, like the bit with the fridge.
Yeah,
is awesome. That whole thing of throwing the propane into the fridge and then both holding the fridge and then blowing the propane up and shooting the door off and all that kind of thing. Could have done with a bit more of that MacGyver-y kind of thing, but that's a nitpick. It's not really a major criticism, so I was kind of like okay with that. I mean, obviously the elephant in the room is this Dredd thing, this Dredd comparison. We've already sort of said it in the wiki that it was pure coincidence, but let's put on the Elton tinfoil hat of the week. How much of it do you think really was just pure coincidence? Because there was a moment when I was watching it, and then it starts into a big fight with the drug room, and I thought, hang on, this has stopped being, oh, it's a coincidence that it's like people in a tower block fighting other people in the tower block while the boss controls it all. Suddenly we've actually got a repeat of the showdown in a drug den. You know, 'cause Dredd has exactly that. You know, suddenly.
But so does RoboCop.
Yeah, but RoboCop, but the rest of it doesn't kind of relate, if you know what I mean. You know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
but I think it's one of those. This is one of those lazy comparisons. Everyone goes, "Oh yeah." But I think other than being in a towered block, cops and a drug lord, there's lots of points of divergence, I think.
Yeah.
And both films have got as much in common with Die Hard on those sort of, you know, simple dot-to-dot sort of things. I mean, unless you had a different cut of the Dredd where there's a team of judges at the start and it's revealed Judge Rico is working for Mama. You know what I mean? There's all these other bits that make it very different. And both films they're both action films, but they're both heading in different directions.
Yeah, I totally get it, and I'm not really saying for a second that it was anything other than coincidence. Because I do believe that films just turn up because everyone comes up with the same idea and finds the same piece of copyrights come out of gone out of phase or whatever, and they all go right, okay, jump on that. As I'm sure other people will bring up, there was 2 Ant movies, there was 2 magician movies with a Prestige and the Illusionist. There was
a Deep Impact and Armageddon.
Exactly, and they all seem to.
Also
there was 3 Robin Hoods.
Yeah, but not all in the same week.
But also, if it wasn't for the the fact that they couldn't get anyone to buy the film because it was shit, Star Crash would have come out around the same time as Star Wars, and those are stupidly similar, and yet nothing to do with each other.
Yeah, but
Halt the flow of time.
Oh, yeah.
3
Command
minutes.
ship. Halt the flow of time. Yes. No, but in the case of the comparison between Dredd and Raid, the one thing I kind of at least entertain is the fact that they are not just. I take your point, Jim. There's points of reference convergence, but like I say, there was moments where I was just like, this is a little too close to just be coincidence. The fact that the main character kind of doesn't just like the main protagonist, the villain, doesn't sort of really do anything themselves. He has a bunch of henchmen. They all sit in a room with a load of TV screens and basically direct everyone else around using the TV screens. The main fight, the main sort of showdown where the tide turns is inside a drugs den that's on like a mid-floor between him and the boss. And then you've also got the whole thing of basically the main characters gets double-crossed by some of his own team. And I know these are all tropes that are in every action film in some respects, but the fact that they were actually almost entirely in sync with Dredd, I'm pretty sure you could run the two side by side and the same scenes happen at the same time. And that, to me, there was a lot of moments where I just suddenly went, blah, 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 hold on. You know, and like I say, I totally get it's coincidence, but to me, there's Deep Impact and Armageddon do the same story, but from different ends. But this was very, very close. I mean, this was more than just, oh, there's some drug lords and some bad guys and a tower block. This was like, you know, there was actual, like, you could actually say, oh, that bit in the tower block when they go up to the 15th floor, go into a drugs den, and then basically blow the place to pieces, and then he finds he's been double-crossed. You know, it got down to sort of like, we're getting very specific here for something that's a coincidence. I mean, or am I just seeing coincidence where they're seeing correlation where there isn't one?
Well, I think the reasons for going into the building are different. Anyway, between Dredd and the raid, because Dredd's there to investigate with Anderson the appearance of these two bodies that have just been pushed off the top floor. They're in no real kind of, they're not on a mission to take down a drug lord or anything, whereas the sole purpose of these coppers is to go in and take out this drug lord. Yeah. Right? That kind of, they stumble upon Dredd and Anderson.
Yeah.
There are of course great similarities, as you say. The actual drug, the drug lab.
The drug lab. Yeah.
They do have somebody sitting there watching lots and lots of screens. There's also the building lockdown as well, which is the same in each movie.
And there's also the bit where they find the one friendly person who's not really friendly, but they kind of sneak into that person's room just to get out the way of the overwhelming force coming down the corridor.
There is that. There's also the fact that the chief bad guy gets on the speakers and says, "We have some visitors."
Yeah.
It's the same sort of speech that Mama makes.
Exactly. And it's like, you know, if you take care of them, you can live here rent-free. And Mama says, if you do take care of them, you know, basically you will have earned my favour kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, I don't want to super entertain the idea that it's a rip-off, because I'm pretty sure it's not. But I can't believe there wasn't some washover between the two.
Well, it's one of those things. I think it's kind of, when you look into the timing and the production dates and whatnot, and particularly the history of the raid, that they were setting out to do something else, and then, you know, what we've been in development for a year and a bit, and then had to suddenly, right, we've got to make something.
Yeah,
it does raise questions in my mind.
Yeah,
I mean, I think the finished results are different enough in tone and plotting to differentiate them. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was a bit of borrowing to get the script into shape, maybe.
Yeah.
Possibly.
I mean,
I wouldn't rule that out, actually. I mean, because you know, it's kind of, it's happened before.
Yeah. And like I say, we did know for a fact that, like, the effects guy from one came to the production on the other. And actually told Gareth Evans what was going on. Hold on, I was trying to. I found the thread where I think I found the thread where the film that it was all brought from.
At the very top there, mate.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the. There we go.
Don't worry. Anyway, carry on. Sorry. Anyway, so yeah,
it'd be interesting to see that 70s film you mentioned, because
Enemy Territory. That was it. It was 1987. Right. Enemy
because
Territory.
I mean, Alex Garland is a fucking magpie.
Yeah.
he steals left, right, and centre from things. And I can understand why some people saw the raid, then saw Dredd, and went, "Oh, Garland up to his own tricks again." But when you look at the history, it's the other way round. But maybe they are both stealing from this film.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's according to this. It's the film Enemy Territory, 1997, starring Gary Frank, Ray Parker Jr., and Jan Michael Vincent.
Ray Parker, Ghostbusters Jr.
Yep, Ray Parker,
hell?
Gary Frank, Ray Parker Jr., Jan Michael Vincent, Tony Todd, and Stacey Dash.
Ray Parker Jr.
Yeah.
Jr. Did he get into the spirit of the film? You're not quick enough. I don't suppose there's a ghost of a chance of his performance being any good.
You finished? Do you think that performance haunts him? Right. Are you done?
Yeah.
Right, thank you. Ray Parker Jr. Yeah, so it's Enemy Territory, 1987, which has a 6.5 on IMDb.
Oh, and Tony Todd plays a character called The Count.
Le Count. Yes, apparently it's a tower block.
Misspell.
A door-to-door insurance salesman gets trapped inside a building. Yeah, he does. He gets trapped inside a building and terrorized by a street gang called the Vampires. But apparently the premise of this guy sort of trying to survive inside a block and work his way up to the top.
A trainee carpenter gets trapped inside a shed.
Yeah, users review. Totally agree. Totally underrated.
What's it called? Enemy Territory, yeah? Okay.
I'd be curious to watch this and just see, where each film, how much of each film is getting its inspiration from it.
Yeah. Well, apparently both Dredd and The Raid were cribbed from this film, so, take what you will of that. So,
weirdly, Stuart Kaminsky, who wrote and directed it, did additional dialogue on Once Upon a Time in America with Sergio Leone to tie it back to Western.
Wow, look at that! See, it's all interlinked. See, this is the kind of deep, multi-layered thinking that you get on the Blackdog podcast.
Do you know what?
Honest.
I think the whole film is available on YouTube.
Is it?
Yeah, hold on. I'm just going to have a quick look now.
Okay.
Is it by Empire Pictures by any chance?
I have no idea. No idea. But anyway, so
this
there you
is
go.
the city.
That's that. So shall we just skip on from Dredd? I mean, I guess it's going to come up again and again and again. Oh, you've got the whole film there, yeah?
It's on there. The whole film, Enemy Territory, is
on YouTube.
Is with German. Oh, and there's Ray Parker Jr.
There you go. Man watches film on podcast.
Yep.
There you go. Well, that's.
Oh, before I forget, can I ask? Has anyone seen The Raid 2?
No, I've got it, but I haven't watched it yet.
No,
because I figure since that's directed by the same guy, then probably at least worth a watch as well.
Yeah, I don't
I
doubt
think we're gonna have that for Batshit Crazy Month
2,
the sequel,
Electric Boogaloo. I don't know. I have not actually seen it. I'll be honest with you. To be quite honest, it's one of those things where as soon as you see a film like The Raid, you suddenly think, well, there's no point in going for a second one because the second one's going to be more of the same and, how much more further past 11 stupid can you go?
Apparently, there's more to it than just punching people in the face.
Really?
Yeah, from what I've heard.
Okay. Well, we might have a look at that then another time. Right. Well, has anyone else got any additional comments to make before we head on off to feedback land?
I would just like to add, I know Darren said this about the character development, and he was quite happy there not being much in there. I have to totally agree with that because it did remind me of Black Hawk Down, where you had
11 men covered in shit in a helicopter shouting at each other.
Yeah, it was like that, but I kind of enjoy that, and you got the same sort of experience from this because you had however many men dressed up exactly the same, wearing exactly the same armor, getting shot to pieces and chopped up, and yet you just enjoyed what was going on at the screen, and you didn't really care about their families or anything like that. You had no involvement in that person at that time.
Did you? So hold on. Did you like Black Hawk Down?
I flipping love Black Hawk. I flipping love Black Hawk Down.
Right. Okay.
Take it you didn't.
I was not a fan. I'll be honest. I mean, as I say, I found it tedious because it was literally just a load of people just shouting at each other in different locations.
I loved it. I thought it was brilliant, especially when Orlando Bloom hit the deck.
I could you're
That's meta viewing there, I believe.
Yeah, but you know, let's be honest. I didn't even know Orlando Bloom was in it.
Right.
You could. I mean, I knew that. Who was it? I knew Ewan McGregor was in it, but that's
the
only
coffee guy. Yeah,
I didn't know it was the coffee guy. I couldn't tell. I just genuinely couldn't tell. It was just
but isn't that the realism coming through?
What?
Unless you're mates with them guys, you're just going to see them as 12 guys going off to do a raid.
It could have been one guy just filmed 12 different ways. To be honest, I genuinely didn't. No.
Okay. Should we ignore my comment then?
No, it's okay.
It's fine. I don't mind. Should we move on? Feedback. Yeah.
I can see the comparison, but I mean, I admired Black Hawk Down more than I enjoyed it. I felt it was. It was. Oh, this is well done. This is well said. This is very realistic. What's it about? I don't know. Why should I care?
It's a cracking movie.
Okay.
It's a loud movie. I'll give you that.
It sounds to me like it's a Thunderdome movie.
Yeah, Darren, did you like Black Hawk Down?
It was all right.
Okay.
That's pretty much my reaction as well.
I mean, the worst bit about Black Hawk Down, and I guess we should hold off until we actually review it, I guess. but the worst thing about Black Hawk Down was the fact that it was like the whole of Fallujah apparently is like a 12 square block of houses,
of course,
with nothing around. So why didn't everyone's going, oh no, we have to fight our way to the thing, and you're like, well, if you just turn around behind you, there's a road out there that there's nothing behind you. You just walk out of the entire city in like 5 steps.
That's right.
Shut
yeah,
up, that's why.
That's what they should have done. Is walk out. Oh, silly me.
Well, what's the point in standing around a broken helicopter?
Hang on, the bad guys are in front of us. There's no one behind us. Maybe we should go backwards. Yeah, great idea. Brilliant. Fall back. Hooray.
Yeah.
End the movie.
Fall back. We leave the city behind. There you go. You can have it. I mean, it's only
fuckers were surrounded.
Which fuckers? It was one bloke. It was just Harry Hill covered in shit. Photographed from 11 different angles. Standing by a broken helicopter.
I'm gonna make a trilogy which is in total 15 minutes in length, and it's just gonna be called "Let's Just Give Up."
Yeah. It's just, okay, well, I tell you what, let's do Black Hawk Down at some point, and I'm sure one of our many fans of military stuff will come on and tell me all about how the Black Hawk works and things that spin and how many military people doing military things the right way, and I will still sit there and go, so which bloke was the one with the thing up his leg? Because, yeah, the thing that snapped in his leg and...
That's the whole idea.
What?
You get confusion and you can't see what's going on because of what is going on.
But he was in a medical tent like 100 miles away. He had a thing go off in his leg.
Keep your powder dry.
No, it's all right. Someone was trying to hold on to his vein, who misses euphemism, and it disappeared inside his leg, and they went, oh, he's dead. It's like, oh, right, okay, who is that? Oh, it's Sanchez. Really? Like, right.
Well,
who is this Sanchez?
Yeah, who is Sanchez? Jeff Sanchez, it's Jeff Sanchez.
He's Dave's brother.
Dave, who's Dave? Oh,
Dave Sanchez. Over there.
Little Dave worked with Terry. It was his brother.
Yeah, it was his brother.
Dave.
Yeah, Dave.
He's going to be well cut up.
Is he? I thought he was standing right beside his brother. I think he already knows, doesn't he? Is he? Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
wait a minute. His brother's standing there holding him in a bucket because that's all that's left of him.
Oh, shit. That's not Dave. That's Jeff. Jeff Sanchez. Jeff Sanchez is standing beside Dave. Dave was the one who died. No, it was Jeff. Jeff's died. Really?
It wasn't Oddlaw.
Who was Jeff?
Simon, who is this? Who was it?
Will someone get me a
Black Hawk
flannel?
Time. Worst game of Where's Wally ever.
Will someone get me a flannel and a bucket of water so I can find out who the fuck this person is? Anyway, yeah, let's put that down on the docket for disappointing Ridley Scott movies.
That's all of them except Alien and Blade Runner.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe Thelma and Louise if you're feeling generous. Right. Okay. Well, let's move on to the feedback. We did as much talking about Black Hawk Down as we did about the raid. Anyway, let's run the feedback jingle.
Feedback. Send your feedback. Lots of feedback. Come on, feedback.
Right, okay, so feedback time. And the first piece of feedback is from Doreen Kelly. And Doreen writes, "Hello guys, okay, sorry about this. I think I'm going to have a bit of a downer this week. On the first watch of the raid, I've been left cold. However, I can see there are possibly numerous reasons for this watch being disappointing. I had access to the English-only dub at this time, and so was lazy and used to it. And it's possible that I took 40 winks near the beginning. Not absolutely sure though. See, this is the old people's podcast where people just fall asleep, forget their trains, go without their glasses. It's all happening. We're all going downhill together, everyone.
I haven't shouted at a cloud this week, though.
No, you haven't shouted at a cloud, but, there's still time. There's still time. Anyway, so Doreen continues. And the events of the news have possibly affected me too. I had watched and fed back on Shoot 'em Up before hearing about the heinous Orlando shootings, the Parisian couple who were senselessly stabbed, and seemingly mindless murder of an MP during the week. I feel like I'm living in a much darker world this Saturday than I did last week. Not that I'm complaining about the Blackdog carrying on as planned, it's probably the only way we can try and ensure those who want to spread their terror do not win. It's just part of the reason why I didn't really enjoy this film, and I may well watch this again, perhaps with the original soundtrack and subtitles. Perhaps hearing your discussion will also help me understand the raid. The one bit that made me hopeful was that when the first gun was fired, and then there were effects magnifying the explosive projectile from the gun barrel, it sort of looked like it might be one of those films where that have beautiful light playing with light and shadow, but it wasn't long before they started adding weird blue light. We get into the train station toilets now, okay, to make it harder for people to find their veins. Okay. The other thing that really bugged me was the brother who was going to stay criminal purely because he was good at it. Way to make the character relatable to. Either he had not matured past the age of around 3, or he had no higher thought and acts purely on animal instinct. At least in Crank, I, the viewer, had a feeling that for the most part the guy was having to act on instinct only because of the fatal injection he'd been given, although he was the deplorable person normally. Also, everything seemed a lot slower, in that martial arts were more realistic. It also gave it sort of a moral message near the beginning, unlike Shoot 'em Up. A couple of comparisons with Dread. The Raid had no strong female characters. The testosterone was dripping off this film, and not in a good way, in my opinion. Also, the futuristic world of Mega City 1, the fact that the block was in lockdown, and totally added to the claustrophobic trap feeling. I look forward to hearing the cast and hopefully having my mindset changed about the raid. Thank you for your hard work and in these extraordinary times. Doreen. Well, thank you very much for that, Doreen. Right. I don't know if we're going to convince you of anything. I mean, this cast hasn't really hasn't really done much deep digging on the Raid, to be honest. We just went, oh, punchy, yes. Is it like Dread? No. Brilliant.
This week's Black Dog is brought to you from the local Christian Science reading room.
I suspect we might have convinced her not to watch Black Hawk Down.
In which case, job done. See? That's all we needed.
Black Hawk Shout.
11 men in a helicopter covered in shit. Right.
Well, actually, something we didn't mention is actually in a lot of these action films from the East, the idea of having two people closely related, either as friends or brothers or family, and one's a cop and one's a criminal, does come up quite a lot. It's at least in a couple of John Woo films.
Yeah.
And
in
those, they do actually develop the characters. I think it's the Killer?
I don't.
Where Chow Yun Fat's a hitman. He has this sort of respect / friendship developed between the detective who's hunting him.
Oh yes. There's that. There's Infernal Affairs, which is kind of The Departed, but they're brothers instead of and A Better Tomorrow is another one. Yeah, there's lots of gunplay ones like that. In fact, we really should do The Killer. I remember really liking that. It's probably not done very well now in time. No, but anyway, never mind. Yeah, but it is a kind of running theme with the whole family sort of duality thing that, in the sort of Far East, isn't it, in Eastern countries?
Well, here it's very much kind of just sketched in.
Yeah.
It's one of those, it's kind of, you could make The Raid a film which had a bigger dramatic impact, but that would be less shooty. And I think most people just are happy with the shooty, punchy, kicky.
I am.
I tell you what, Batshit Crazy Movie Month doesn't trip off nearly trip off the tongue as elegantly as Bashy Shooty Kicky Bang Bang. I think we might rename it that next time. Bashy Shooty Kicky Bang Bang Month. Anyway, thank you very much for that, Doreen. And let's move on to our next piece of feedback, and that is Jim.
Next, we have, as soon as I found it, live from the cursed earth, Mr. David Renane.
Ah, yes. Okay, well, what does Happy Dave have to say?
He goes, hello, chaps. And Owl.
Oh. Ah, there he is. Everyone take cover. Get to ground. The owl is afoot.
No, he's not.
Not a lot to say about this week's movie, other than, wow, that escalated somewhat.
Nice.
That should have been the tagline of this film.
Yeah.
The Raid. Wow, that escalated quickly. David continues. After Kung Fu hijinks and the mindlessness of shoot 'em up, it seemed good to close Batshit Crazy Month on a film where tension ran high and the violence actually looked like it hurt. Ouch. As a confirmed Dread fan, it was interesting to finally watch The Raid and see why all the comparisons have been made between the two films. I'm sure others have presented flowcharts and timelines showing how the two movies developed independently, but even understanding how they both flow on from traditional corridor or tower quests like the Minotaur and the Labyrinth to Block Wars to Bruce Lee's original Game of Death, there are points where you look at both films together and go, oh yeah? And very, very grudgingly, I sort of suspect at points The Raid might just have the machete-sharp edge. Maybe. You guys were also really lucky I didn't write my review of Wade Redemption in the style of Dwed's Walter the Wobot. I worried it would sound a wee bit racist. I've had enough owl shit for this month.
See, he's after you now, Dave. You're on his radar now. You're on his
shit list.
Yeah, he's on his shit list.
An excellent choice, much enjoyed. All the best, Happy Dave.
Thank you very much for that, Dave. Yes, While I appreciate story time on feedbacks, yeah, sending back as characters is probably a little beyond the pale. I don't think we really want to get into Robbie the Wobot sending feedbacks in, but well, I never know. Maybe one day. Anyway, thank you very much for that, sir. So actually, which one do you prefer? Just round the table, Raid or Dread?
I like them both.
Yeah, I know we like them both, but you're having the divorce. You have to pick one of the children.
Okay, I'm going to have to go for Dread.
Yeah.
On the basics that this is, as far as I'm concerned, it's a great adaptation of the character.
Yeah.
Done. It's it kind of buries the old crime.
That's
beforehand.
Not. Yeah. Judge Codpiece.
Judge Codpiece.
Yeah. I knew you were going to say that.
You shouldn't be standing under there, Judge Dredd. But they've only got a range of 24 foot. Yeah, but you're standing under them. So, they don't just stop at 24 foot, do they? They carry on down.
You tit.
You're going to get... In fact, no, you're right. Yeah, you just stand there. That's right. You just...
As the credits roll.
Yeah, exactly. Any minute now.
I am the end.
They should have just got killed by somebody dropping a piano off the top of the block or something. Those bullets have only got a range of...
Yeah, well, there you go. Maybe I should do that. I'll do that for you.
I think so, yes.
Okay. Well, what about you guys?
I would have to take Dread, only for the fact that you've got a lot more story around that character.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. What about you, Jim?
I'd have to go Dread. I mean, the Raid has better ultra violence, but Dread does a lot more. It builds a world, it builds a character, and it tells a more rounded story. Well, it tells a story.
Well, that's very true. And what about you, Herc?
Dread, just because, as you've all said, it's just more well polished in pretty much every department. Nothing against the Raid. It's just Dread is really solid film.
Yeah, I've got to say I'd go with Dread. I was going to just say the Raid just to stir the pot, but frankly, no. Anyway, so thank you.
Go with Crank.
yeah. I vote Crank. Yeah. Right. Anyway, so thank you very much for that, Happy Dave. Glad we played out on one that you liked. So, let's move on. Darren, let's see what you've got.
Hold on, I think my phone's charged enough now.
You sure it's charged enough? Because I've got it on the screen here if you want to see it.
I would have to have a telescope from this. The size of that fucking font from here. No.
See? Old Decrepitude podcast.
It is the Old Decrepitude podcast with failing technology and failing eyesight.
And failing memories.
My ears are bent, my nose is knackered.
My eyes are old and bent, my ears are grizzled, yes. You, Matthias, son of Matthias? Yeah, yes. We've been ordered to search this property.
There we go. Okay, I have let's see, I've just come on, load up email. I have a mail from Scott Morrison.
Scott Morrison.
As a titled Face Full of Ouch.
Mm-hmm.
And he writes, "Hello, chaps.
Hello.
It's a beautiful day in Boston. The sun is shining, birds are chirping, and I'm sitting at home with 2 less wisdom teeth, a throbbing head, and ice packs wrapped around my face. I look like some kind of demented balding chipmunk. Clearly, this is the perfect time to watch some people with a lot more pain. I've been meaning to see The Raid for a while now, and this was the perfect excuse. I loved it. It's not a parody or a maybe parody like the previous 3 films. It's as serious as a heart attack, and has a streamlined storyline that has the bare minimum required for the movie to work. It's refreshing after the overplotted mess of shoot 'em up. I think it's the first martial arts movie I've seen that features Silat, an Indonesian martial art. Silat is a spare, stripped down and brutal fighting style that fits well with the movie. I like how interesting everybody looks. They look like real people, and it's a nice change of pace from the Hollywood ideal of normal. Even the more handsome actors, like Iko Uwais. Is that how you play it?
Don't ask me. I've just spent the last hour and a half avoiding that name.
Iko Uwais. Iko
Wild
Uwais.
Wild West.
Yeah, Wild Wild. We get it Wild Wild West.
Icky Wawa. Yeah, go on.
Have lived in faces that tells you that they've been through a lot. I also like the character of Mad Dog, the brutal enforcer that still has a sense of humour, sense of honour, sense of humour. He appears with a clown nose on and a fucking spinny tie.
He
Turns up in a clown cog, turns up and all the bad guys get out of it.
I'd love to see that fight, one of his fight scenes redone with someone CGI clown shoes on him.
Oh, that would be great. Every time he kicks someone, it makes a honking sound.
Yeah, every time he gets punched in the nose.
Get to it, YouTubers. We want to see that. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah, come on.
So we'll
Start
go
your
back to that
engines.
again. I also like the character of Mad Dog, the brutal windfalls that still has a sense of honour. A studio film would have turned him into some kind of hulking monstrosity, but here he's a shorter, compact guy with a great face, and he's terrifying. It isn't a perfect movie. Some of the gun handling was a little shaky. I cringed during the first scene when the sergeant tells everyone gear up, and the van full of trained police proceed to point their guns at each other. Circular firing squad, anybody? But those are minor nits. Overall, the raid is a great looking. He's great. Looking forward to next week's movie. By then, I should hopefully be less chipmunky. Cheers, Scott Morrison.
Okay, well, cheers for that, Scott. Yeah. Yeah, apart from the nitpicks, I mean, to be quite honest, it didn't even occur to me. He's suddenly sitting in the back of a van and then suddenly everyone's pointing the guns at each other and pulling the trigger, loading up.
Yep.
Yeah, nice.
Also, if they're cops, why aren't they ready for backup?
Yeah, that's very true.
Oh wait,
Well,
didn't
they tried
address
to.
that in the film because he said
Yeah.
no one knows we're here, right?
That's right. So he did mention that.
You can still radio for backup and say, hey, guess what?
We're
in-
getting slaughtered, for fuck's sake.
dangle out of a window and go, could we have... hello? Hello?
Uber.
But wasn't that one of the stories in it that he didn't want to radio for backup? He wanted to go back to the office as a hero and then work his way up onto the payrolls.
Yeah, I never quite got that whole thing with the white-haired dude. I never quite got what his deal was.
He wanted to further his career and go up the ladder and be a bigger part of the food chain.
You know, going up the
By
ladders.
killing his own men and escaping. I mean, that just seemed a bit weird.
Well, it's all corrupt.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know.
I did like his fighting style, though, which was just lamp people.
Lamp people with the nearest piece of furniture.
None of this sort of like, fancy punching and kicking. It's just sort of like, have it in
Yeah.
the face.
Here's a
in the
chair.
face.
Why don't you sit down? Yeah. Anyway, cool. Well, thank you very much for that, Scott. Time to move on. And Elton, who do you have first?
I have Andrew, the Swedish chef Whittaker.
Talk about the raid. Chicky, chicky, punchy, punchy, kicky, kicky.
Sean Connery doing an impression of the Swedish chef. How would that...
Yes.
Yes, money.
Yes. Put the chicky in the bowl. Bowl the chicky bowl.
Kick Chicky in the bollocks.
Yeah.
Kick it inside the head.
Yes. Give the chicky a darn good slap. Slappy chicky slap. Slappy chicky. Anyway,
I'm the Swedish fucking chef.
McLeod, get hold of this chicken. Anyway, we shell into the kitchen. Anyway, just go, Elton, go.
Shall I
Takes
carry
one
on?
of your chickens, you put it in the oven. He takes one of your turkeys, you make a chicken chasseur.
Dear Black Dog Gang, I've listened with interest to your season of batshit crazy movies. However, I have to say that I think The Raid doesn't belong in that category. Admittedly, the concept of fighting door to door through a block of flats like a psychotic Jehovah's Witness is a little out there. However, The Raid isn't a film that I'd name if asked to come up with examples of off-the-wall movies. What makes me think that this is a fact? In general, I don't like martial art movies, but I love The Raid. I don't get martial art movies in general because, to me, they don't feel right. Hand-to-hand combat, by definition, should be solid and kinetic. And in so many martial art films, it's floaty and physic-defying. The moment someone spins around in their index finger, levitates or clicks a chopstick through an inch of reinforced steel, I'm out. The Raid isn't like that. Here, the violence feels real, makes the viewer wince, trading on believability rather than fantasy. The atmosphere feels distinctly gritty and realistic too. Overall, a film that locks you in rather than throws you out, however preposterous a setup. It reminds me of very strongly of Assault on Precinct 13, the John Carpenter original, of course. In that respect, keep up the good work. Love and -1 goal difference. Andrew, the Swedish chef, Whittaker.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah. So, I suppose in some ways he's right. Is it really a batshit crazy movie in the end, or is it just?
It's intense, but it's grounded. I think I side with him on that. It's not really batshit crazy.
Oh, right. That's it.
Well, I mean, apart from the fridge, there's nothing. Right?
Yeah, no, there isn't really. But I was going to go, right, that's it. Everyone, turn the lights off.
It's not as batshit crazy as, say, Crank, where you have the actual presentation of Crank is just over the top. Where this hasn't got that cartoony style. It hasn't got the crazy boss fights that you have in the Kung Fu Hustle. And so with that, I suppose it is, on a scale of batshit crazy, this is the lowest one that we've watched out of these.
Yeah, I suppose so, yes. Yeah, it's more conventional, I guess.
I mean, would you call Ong Bak batshit crazy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and then I guess this kind of is the same. Huh. It's a spectrum. That's my final answer.
It's a scale. Sorry, I knew you were kind of going to, as soon as you said, would you, I thought, here we go, Ong Bak. So I was just going to go, yes, anyway, regardless whether... Okie dokie. Well, thank you anyway. Who's that? That was Andrew Whittaker. Thank you very much for that, sir. And let's move on. So, Herc, who do you have?
I have his feedback from Greg Bones Madden.
Ah, Bones. Damn it, Jim. I'm a feedbacker.
Yes.
Yes. I can't remember. I can't remember anything else I was going to say there. But anyway, go on, carry on.
Greetings, Darren, Jim, Lee, Elton, and the Blackdog audience. This movie wraps up our trip into the action genre. First, I'd like to say that The Raid was a mystery to me, for I don't think I had even heard of it before this, but I found that it was very different from the other three that we watched this month, obviously because it had no comedy elements in it whatsoever. Like all the movies this month, there was very little character development and the plotline was very weak at best. But this Indonesian film didn't bother me as much as Crank and Shoot 'em Up, for like Kung Fu Hustle, there was no question about it. This movie was a pure action flick from start to finish. So what did I think of The Raid? Well, I thought it was a very good hardcore action film, and it's hard to believe that they made this movie with only $1.1 million, when there are many other movies that have spent so much more money and only delivered a subpar piece of crap. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this movie is a masterpiece or anything like that. I know there are many other action flicks that are better than this. I just think for the budget it had and not having any big name actors in it, it did very well. Although this is a show that I would not watch very often, I am glad I saw it. Well, I think that about wraps it up here. I hope everyone has a good week. Cheers, Greg Bones Madden.
Thank you very much for that, sir. Another one who thinks that maybe it's not quite as batshit crazy as it should have been. But yeah, liked it all the same. I'm glad everyone's liking it. I have to say I'm quite pleased with that. hate to go out on a right, but anyway. So thank you very much, that Bones. Get back into the medical centre. Right. So it's time for our next piece of feedback, which is Mr. Gareth Lloyd. And Gareth writes, I've just opened the bloody web browser. He didn't write that, I just did. Right. Hello, chaps. I'm sorry I haven't fed back in a while, but I've been enjoying your movie choices, especially the bat-ass crazy movies. Now, The Raid impressed me when it came out, and now watching it again, I still love it. The plot is lean and has enough meat on it that the film is never just a series of action pieces, and it has character and enough plot twists to break up the bone-crunching action. And what action this is. Fluid, fast, bone-crunching. However, fight choreography is only as good as the direction, and Gareth Evans does a fantastic job of keeping the energy and fight scenes without obvious quick cutting that spoils many modern action fights. Here you can follow the movie moves, and however quick the fighting is, you're never in doubt of who's doing what to who. Some things really stood out for me. First, this is very similar to Dredd, but I have to admit that The Raid is the better film by a nose. Secondly, the score really put me in mind of John Carpenter's 70s soundtrack and gave the film a nice retro feel for me. So, all in all, big thumbs up, and I have to give a shout out for the sequel. While the story isn't as tight the second time round, the action is really inventive and a huge amount of fun. So, thanks guys, and mind the stairs. Gareth. Thank you very much for that, sir. Sorry your jingle ran out halfway through because I opened the wrong bloody window while trying to do this thing. God, it's all professionalism, isn't it? It's nothing but professionalism this way around. Anyway, what the fuck am I doing now? What's going on? Bloody.
I think Darren has a feedback now.
Yeah, I know that bit. I'm just yeah. Anyway, yeah, another shout out for John Carpenter, by the way, which is kind of cool. Yes, I didn't really think of it as a John Carpenter film, but yeah. Pretty good nod, actually, now I think about it. Actually, I'm very glad I can think of anything at the moment because my brain is just turning into mush, clearly. So, let's move on.
I'm glad he mentioned that the Raid 2 is still full of really inventive writhings, so I'm going to be watching that at some point very, very soon.
Cool. Well, let's all reconvene here another time for that one because I'd be quite interested to see it, to be honest. Anyway, right. Or did I say I wasn't last time? I can't remember. Oh, I can't remember if I actually said earlier on in the podcast that I wasn't interested in it. Oh, fuck.
Jesus, someone put a bolt in his brain.
Just. By the way, I burnt my hand today.
Darren, that's your job.
What's that, burning his hand?
No.
Oh, right.
No, putting him out of his misery.
Where
or putting him out of Elton's misery.
I've fallen down and I can't get up. I'm cold. Where's me Parker Ben from Michael Parkinson?
Have you taken a shit in a shoe?
I have.
No? Right, okay.
I've done a wee-wee. Oh, sorry. Darren, what's the feedback? Go on, go for it.
Okay, so this is from Gary Madden.
And Mr. Spock.
Subject of his mail is Grunty Raid Feedback. And he writes, Greetings, various sundry Blackdog rule. Well, the midsummer rush has hit, and frankly, I've been busier than Donald Trump at a make an arsehole of yourself contest. I'll just put my teeth in. See, this is it. This is old age again.
Welcome to Decrepitude Month on Blackdog Podcast.
Falling apart. I did some drains this week. Did I tell you about guttering?
Did
guttering.
you?
Let's talk about guttering.
Did you do guttering?
I did some guttering.
I'll tell you what, I picked up a burning stick and it really burnt my hand.
Did it?
I might have. Did I tell you that?
I don't know.
Hello and welcome to the Black Dog Podcast.
Yeah, hello and welcome to episode 280.
But I'll tell you what I did this week. I did some guttering this week. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. Bought a stepladder.
Yeah. I had a fire today.
Did you?
No, it was yesterday. Actually, it was Sunday.
Fuck damn you,
Darren,
memory master!
That was my week. Well, this week I bought a stepladder and I did some guttering.
Next week we'll be doing the raid.
While up a ladder doing some guttering.
Welcome to Black Dog episode 4.
Who thought we'd get this far? Anyway, carry on.
Oh, my word. Okay, I shall start that again. Well, the midsummer rush has hit, and frankly, I've been busier than Donald Trump at a make an arsehole of yourself contest. I'll have to update you on the progress of my mission during another feedback session. In the meantime, here's my feedback for the raid. You know, after 4 batshit crazy action flicks in a row, your mind starts the journey to strange places. So when I saw our protagonist Rocky-style workout, I didn't immediately think this guy is some badass. Instead, I began imagining his day job with the Indonesian police was as a crossing guard. In my mind, I could see him rail kicking jaywalkers, kung fuing motorists for minor traffic violations, and body slamming people when their parking meters ran out. It was a lot more entertaining than the film itself. Too much of anything isn't great. It's dull. Like chocolate cake with chocolate icing and chocolate sprinkles served with chocolate sauce with a side of chocolate ice cream that is chocolate chips and chocolate swirls washed down with hot chocolate. Eventually it just turns into fucking mud, doesn't it? Okay, maybe not the chocolate, but certainly with kung fu. After you've seen 5 minutes of two guys kicking the shit out of each other in a grungy hallway, do you really need to see 15 minutes more of it? There's so much grunting, screaming and moaning that a recording of a post-curry dog binge toilet session could be considered a spoiler. Eventually, the fights in the raid just bored me. Sure, they were moronic, like some of the stuff when we saw in Shoot 'em Up, but they just went on and on and on and on. The climactic battle was so dull that I actually fast-forwarded through a portion of it because I didn't even care who won anymore. Maybe another issue for me was how closely this film follows a script of Dread. In places, it seems like it's nearly shot for shot. We've got what amounts to a lockdown keeping the heroes running, or keeping the heroes from running. We've got a building full of nutso baddies. We've got a Mama-esque boss on the intercom. We've got a drug manufacturing operation. There's a security room where the boss has access to hundreds of security cameras. We even have victims plunging to their deaths from the upper story mezzanines. At times I found myself ticking off the similarities to Dread instead of focusing on the plot, and I was forced to rewatch tedious sections just to get to all the details. The raid falls into the same dumb traps as every action movie, and I'm okay with that. I would mention it does reinvent the phrase "nuke the fridge." What I would say makes the film totally unsatisfying, though, is it ends with the heroes cowering in a stairwell while Patsy finishes off the villain. Come on, movie. If you've asked me to invest in a hero, that hero damn well better play a role in the film's resolution.
Good point.
I say a long overdue farewell to Batshit Action Month. Here's looking forward to one of my favourite movies, The Hunt for the Red October. Live long and never wear paper mache body armour to a drug raid. Fucking hell, what is wrong with me?
Welcome to the Blackdog podcast number 280, everyone. I'm Lee.
I'm Darren.
I'm Jim.
My microphone was turned off.
I was going to say, oh, am I?
And Prometheus news now.
Oh, God, no. Let's not do that.
Apparently, they've just finished filming a scene where the crew goes up a ladder to do some guttering.
Oh, God. I burnt my hand, you know.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't burn my hand while I was doing some guttering.
Were you doing guttering?
What was that last week?
Where's my glasses?
12:30.
I'm cold. I've fallen down. Can't get up.
Have you pressed your emergency button?
I don't even know anymore. I'm just pressing these buttons now. The shit's just going on. Stuff's just
Is it my turn yet?
What? Who are you? Anyway.
The thing is, I did have something to say about that email, but I legitimately have forgotten what it was.
God almighty. Gary's point was that too much batshit crazy action was essentially just turning into a curry dog binge toilet session. And it's all getting a bit much. And he was going on about like how it was very, very close to Dread. And it does reinvent the phrase "nuke the fridge." And he found the film a bit unsatisfying.
Wait, I remember what I was going to say. It's like, if you want to be invested in a hero, you should be sure that it has something to do with the resolution of the ending.
That's right. I was just about
However,
to say.
counterpoint to that, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like, you could take India away from that whole movie and Nazis' faces would still melt.
Well, actually, no, because they wouldn't have found the Ark.
Then they wouldn't have won anyway, so...
Yeah, But I mean, the point is that they were digging in the wrong place, and so they wouldn't have melted their faces off.
But they wouldn't have found it, so they wouldn't have been able to use it. Anywho, so
hold on. I've got a book here. I'm just gonna turn to page 1.
How did you get on the submarine?
Page 1, chapter 1, line 1. Shut up. That's why.
yes,
I don't know. Yeah, I do take your point. You know, you have to invest in a character, but you know, especially their involvement in the ending. But you know, in fairness, the ending of Raiders is kind of like God steps in at the end, whereas the end of Raid, basically they all just stand at the bottom of a stairwell while a bloke shoots another bloke. It's like.
And then all walk out of this building that was locked down.
Yeah, without actually fighting their way to the last 15 floors. Cool. Anyway, yeah.
You put the doggy in the curry.
Oh dear, can you tell it's just got to that? It's hit that punch drunk part, haven't we? We should have a siren for punch drunk Blackdog. Anyway, thank you very much for that, Gary. What?
It is Gary.
It is Gary, isn't it? I nearly said Greg, and then it's like something. No, hold on, we had Greg earlier. Right. God,
Damn you, memory master!
What's my name again? Okay, Elton.
Hello. Right. I have Yogi Dave here.
Ah, Dave LaFave Cell. Go for it.
And his subject is, God, whoa, that had to hurt.
Nice.
Greetings and salutations, Black Doggers.
Hello.
Thank you for this batshit crazy month. It's given me an excuse to revisit some favourites. And now, the culmination, the full-on martial arts bukkake spunk fest that is The Raid. There is just no way that I can take off rose-tinted specs for this one. In fact, the only criticism that I can imagine is that that one just isn't into martial arts films, which is fine. But for me, well, let me put it this way. A while back, I said that Birdemic, sorry for bringing that up, reset my movie palette, and that any film watched afterwards was elevated. Well, after watching The Raid, I finally got around to watching Deadpool, and the latter suffered as a result. It was like the difference between a sad wank and the most amazing sex ever. Have you got sad wank?
Hold on.
No?
Hold on. I'm getting there. As soon as I heard you saying it, I thought, here we go. You mean this? So say it again.
It was like the difference between a sad wank and the most amazing sex ever.
Sorry, I thought I'd just go all the way through.
Nice. In which you're coming rainbows and shooting sparks out of your ass.
Wow. You should not have sex in a firework factory is my advice.
Or with a unicorn.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, shouting Care Bear stare when you come.
Wonder Twin powers activate. Sorry.
Oh, Jesus. I imagine that some might criticise the simplistic yet cohesive plot or dialogue, but that just seems as unfair as complaining that the crime thriller has too few laughs. Martial arts films are about the fights, and the fights in this film are dramatic, visceral, and to the point of making their own movies look like a kid's playing with Lego. Only a country with non-existent health and safety laws could turn this out. The film is beautifully shot, its pacing is such that it is relentless without leaving you numb, and it makes you care about and fear for Rama, despite his epic level badassery. Fuck yes, that's a word. In short, sploosh.
Nice.
Thanks, guys. Yogi Dave.
Cool. Excellent. Well, thank you very much for that, Yogi Dave. Thank you. Good feedback. Glad you liked it. That's good. Always good to end with another positive feedback. Who haven't we done yet? That's my brain.
I've still got one here.
You still got
And
one?
I've still got one.
Yes.
Okay. Brilliant. I'm so glad someone's keeping tabs on this whole thing. By the way, just as a little apparently breaking news, though I find it a little hard to believe, apparently in the last day in 2016, the 2016 Denver Comic-Con, apparently Urban has quipped that he needs a new house and Dread 2 would help with the down payment. And that it may now be going ahead, and a website called sciencefiction.com has said it is going ahead, but refuses to give any direct quotes from the actor. But that doesn't stop Last Exit to Nowhere going, it's in development.
Why would you even read that bollocks out loud?
Do you know what?
Didn't we have this before on April Fool's Day a while back?
Yeah.
This all sounds very familiar.
Yeah. Well,
it is technically true that Dread 2 would help with a down payment on a house, but that doesn't have anything to do with it actually being made.
That is very true. It's just it appeared on the Facebook group, and then all of a sudden I checked through, and I thought, okay, let's just at least have a look, because it would have been really nice to just turn around and say, and it's in development, we can announce it. But actually, no.
But wouldn't it be a much nicer surprise if we wait for the studio to confirm it, and until then we'd not get our hopes up?
Do you know what? I think we need to play this. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah.
It could have been a good moment, but completely rubbish. So, okay. So, who was going to read out next? Jim, were you reading out next?
Yes, we have the fiendish Dr. Will.
Aha, yes, the fiendish Dr. Will. And what does he have to say?
Apologies for the late entry, but I'll keep it brief. It's amazing how two such similar films can come out so close together. We've seen it a lot, and I'd be really interested to know whether it really is coincidence. Excuse me. Or whether there is something else going on. See, Ants and A Bug's Life, Deep Impact and Armageddon, The Illusionist and The Prestige, and so on and so on. I was very struck about how similar this was to Dread, not just the overall concept, but right down to the bad guy making announcements to the whole building over the comm, watching everything on CCTV, and the hero persuading a resident to let them hide in their apartment. Stepping aside from my abiding love for Dread, I thought this was a reasonable, if shallow, film. It did the job of being high action, low thought, but definitely much more on the serious side than the previous entries in this batshit crazy season. The fighting got a bit tedious after a while, and the droning grunts started to annoy me, but other than that, I enjoyed it. It kept things straightforward and uncomplicated, and didn't try and bring in unnecessary subplots like the anti-gun message of Shoot 'em Up. So, thumbs up, until they get blown off or broken. Till next time, fiendish Dr. Will.
Thank you very much for that, fiendish Dr. Will. Good feedback, sir. Glad you liked it. Yeah, I mean, we did explore the Dread thing a little bit, but I mean, it is as far as anyone on either side is concerned, it's all pure coincidence, and it is obviously coming from it's all being cribbed from a 1987 movie whose name I've completely unsurprisingly forgotten.
Enemy Territory.
That's it, Enemy Territory, or I was going to say Enemy Mine, but that's Dennis Quaid, isn't it? And Lou Gossett Jr. stuck on a planet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
A load of latex and sour milk.
yes, no.
Mickey Mouse.
No, isn't Sour Milk Alien Nation?
Oh, yes, that's right, yeah.
God almighty.
They all look the same to me. What do I know, these bloody aliens?
Damn you, Memory Master! Ah, dear. Well, there you go. Right, well, thank you very much for that feedback, sir. And now it's time to move on to our last piece of written feedback, which is who... Herc?
Did you just forget my name?
I just was going to call you Gareth. And I thought, that's wrong.
You were both right and wrong. You're wrong, it's not my name, but you're right, it is the name of a final feedbacker, and that is Gareth the Proton Thomas.
Aha, there you go. There you go. See? I'm almost there. I've fallen over, can't get up. You there?
Anywho.
Yep.
Dear gentlemen of the Blackdog, I trust that you and all the listening Blackdog family are well. The Raid. I'd seen this film when it first came out and remember really enjoying it. First time the version I saw had subtitles, this time the version I watched was dubbed. From the first scenes, this film was pretty brutal. The executions in the flat showed a real dark humour when the guns run out of bullets and the claw hammer comes out. But as I think Doreen mentioned, this film was very similar to Dread and was just as good. How has he already seen Doreen's feedback? What?
What? Right, he's seen Doreen's feedback.
Well, he says, but as I think Doreen mentioned. How does that work?
I don't know. Maybe
Could
it was
be
on
referring to
something
the
on the
comments you
group
made last week or
Did you
whatever.
make
Fair enough. Okay.
I mean, I'm only guessing, but or maybe maybe they're the same person.
There is the theory of the Mobius strip, where time becomes a loop.
Oh, that was an episode of Beyond, wasn't it?
Yeah. Welcome to the Black Dog 280.
Sorry. Okay.
Wow.
Anyway.
let's just assume that they know each other. That's probably the easiest way.
I can live with that.
That's good.
Anyway, there were some awesome injuries and deaths too. One that sticks in my mind was the backbreaker when a guy was thrown over the balcony to land on his back over the banister on the other side. Yeah, that did look like it hurt. That brings me on to Mad Dog. Now, he was batshit crazy, choosing not to put down his weapon to fist fight with his enemies. And the final fight with him made me tired just watching it. I thought the choreography was brilliant. The fight scenes were great and had quite inventive ways of killing the baddies, e.g. smashing one's face down on the shards of a front door. The music was very fitting and tense at times, which complemented the film. Overall, I loved it and would happily see this again. I haven't seen the sequel though, and not sure if it will taint this film for me. That's it for now. Cheers, guys. Gareth the Proton Thomas.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for that, Gareth. Good feedback as always, sir. And yeah, there you go. That I think I think everyone's mentioned at some point the final fight with the Mad Dog being a bit wearing. Is it quite up to the standards of They Live, of just trundling on just that bit too much? I wonder.
Good question.
Would you put it in the same rating as that, Dal? The fight, the final fight. Would it? Yeah.
I forget. I'm so laid back.
Yeah,
the microphone's about 3 miles away.
He's nodding off in the chair. No.
I'm so relaxed.
Do you want your blanket, Grandad?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll get you slippers. Right. No, I was going to say the They Live. The fight in They Live is that fight with Mad Dog the same as They Live one, where it just kind of goes on and on and on.
No, the fight, the 10-minute punch up in They Live is a joke. That's it. It's a parody of stuff you've seen in 80s action flicks. Whereas this is a serious fight. This is meant to emphasise, this is the end of level boss. There's a reason why he's been hired by the chief drug dude. Is
Power
because, up. He literally is indestructible.
Yeah, cool.
So I wouldn't compare it to the fight in They Live.
Okay, that's fair enough. Just something that came to mind, that was all. Right, okay, well that was the end of the written feedback, so thank you very much to everyone who sent in written feedback at this point. Thank you very much to everyone who's listened as far as this nonsense has been going for the last feedback section, where we've all lost the plot. And now it's time to move on to the MP3 feedback. The first bit of MP3 feedback is from John Campion. And let's hear what John has to say about The Raid.
Hello, Lee, Darren, Jim, Elton, and Officer Owlo. I've probably watched The Raid 6 or 7 times, including these watches, and I still love it. Superficially, this is a hyperkinetic action martial arts film with beautifully choreographed but still bone-crunchingly weighty fights and some amazing set pieces. The film really excels on that level. I think what lifts it even more from the run-of-the-mill is the filmmaker's eye with which it's been put together. If you take a couple of moments, the garroting of the first guard as the SWAT team enter the building, you have that frame where you see the SWAT team members' hands slowly emerge from the darkness, and that's it's very controlled, and the light comes from the dark in a predictable way. It's a brilliant shot on its own, but if you go later in the film, you have another moment of light against dark, and that's in the stairwell, where you have the darkness lit only by the strobe light flashing of the gunfire from both sides, from the criminals and the police, and you can compare that controlled emergence from the dark of the hands with the more chaotic flashes of the gunfire as being indicative of the mission's descent into chaos. The pacing is really good too, although you come away from the film, certainly on a first watch, with the action being what sticks in your head. There are some really great, quiet, tension-building moments, like Rama's hiding in the false wall, or actually featuring the same gang member who's only referred to on IMDb as Machete Gang Number 1, the guy with the mad eyes, advancing slowly towards the sergeant's hiding place, tapping his machete against the wall. The film has emotional punch too. Jacka's death at the hands of Mad Dog has a real weight to it that's quite unusual sometimes in this genre. Another theme that seems to run through the film is the escalation of violence. We see the ruthlessness and brutality with which the police move through the building initially, which is then one-upped and exceeded by the ruthlessness and brutality of the gang. Mad Dog is only defeated when the two brothers team up against him, and even then, after that, it's Andy, the criminal brother, that actually secures Rama's escape from the building. I don't know whether that's a conscious theme on the part of the filmmakers, the criminality, that element seeming to be more effective, but it's there for what that's worth. I think that's one reason that The Raid might make an interesting double bill with Jose Padilla's Elite Squad films, which deal with police brutality as a response to violent criminality as well, although that's a far more explicit theme in those films than it is in The Raid. Overall, The Raid feels like a genre-defining film. The closest thing I can think of to it really is On Back, which I watched a few years before and thought, this will change everything. So yeah, for me this is very definitely rose-tinted specs, an enormous pair of Elton John style Diamante-tinged rose-tinted specs. It's very good, and it holds up terribly well even to repeated watches. Pip pip.
Pip pip. Oh, he's still there. No, he's gone. There you go. Thank you very much for that, John. Pip pip. Rose-tinted Diamante-tipped spectacles. And a study in light and dark, eh? That's interesting. I hadn't really thought about that, but I do like that scene where he garrots that first bloke. But what's interesting is that whole going through the building, brutally, basically sellotaping basically everyone down, just makes the fact that they get stuffed up kind of even more kind of weird, really, when you think about it, because it's like you've taken out every room on the way up, so surely there's no one left. They're all above you.
Yeah, 6 floors down. It should be a clean sweep, really, shouldn't it?
It should be, really. Mm.
But then they put snipers on the other side of the building.
Yeah, but then they're the neighbours, aren't they? Yeah, well, anyway, thank you very much for that, John. Glad you liked it. Glad it worked for you, sir, and glad you're still enjoying it. So we must move on. Well, next we move on to one of Herc's adoptive countrymen. It's Mr. Eric J, who's sending in some feedback on MP3 this week. So let's hear what our other man from Canada, has to say about the raid. Here we go.
Hi, Black Doggers. It's your pal, Eric, in Toronto, with my first ever voicemail, so we'll see if this becomes a thing. I'm calling for a couple of reasons, primarily to answer this question from last week's cast. The name of the place in which Shoot 'em Up was filmed is Mississauga. Mississauga is a suburb of Toronto, and the name is derived from a First Nations word for people who live near the mouth of the river. I think it's from the Algonquin tribe, if Wikipedia is not steering me wrong. Anyways, Shoot 'em Up was filmed in Mississauga. And with that mystery solved, let's move on to a film which I think is a fantastic capper to the month, though I don't know if I'd really call it batshit crazy. I'd put The Raid Redemption more into the insane action category. I think of the films we've seen, and interestingly enough, 3 of them were already in my collection, of the films we've seen, the ones that are, I guess I would call batshit crazy, I can imagine Bugs Bunny being in the lead role. They all have kind of a Warner Brothers cartoon aesthetic to them, and that's entirely missing from The Raid. The Raid is insane. It's crazy. It's unbelievable, some of the amazing action that they've got. But at no point is there any atmosphere of whimsy around it. This is about as serious as a heart attack. So, insane action is how I would go. And it's also, I have to say, the difference between it and the 3 previous films, even Kung Fu Hustle, it's a hardcore martial arts film. I'm a big martial arts fan, and this was entirely, so much of the action was done medium shot, minimal cuts. These are real guys showing their skills, doing their thing, and it's fantastic. And it's amazing, too, how you can have 2 films, Judge Dredd, or Dredd, and The Raid, Redemption, which have essentially the same plot, good guys in the bad guys building, trying to get to the top and then make their way out. And I love them both. Very different. Dredd is, no matter how you cut it, a fantasy. The glory of The Raid is that so much of the action, even though it is highly stylized, is real people doing real things. Particularly the amazing fights. The one with our hero, his brother, and Mad Dog in that tiny room. I mean, it does not get better than that in the martial arts game. So Yeyan Ruyan is, I think, how you say the name of the actor who played Mad Dog, and what an amazing physical presence that guy has. He would be, to my mind, far more than Hugh Jackman ever was, the embodiment of what Wolverine from the comics would be in real life. A tiny little package of death, just waiting to be unleashed and ready to pop off at any moment. That's much more like true to the character. So I don't know if he wants to come up here for Canadian accent coaching. I would try and do my best. What else to say about it? Great pacing, a great sense of place. So Gareth Evans did a fantastic job on this. I haven't seen the second Raid film, which I can't remember. I know it was in the works. Has it been made yet? If it has, I haven't seen it yet, but I will definitely check it out. And one thing I have to say, in years of listening to the Blackdog, you actually haven't done a lot of martial arts films. So I've been, I think, a faithful contributor for some time. I'm going to make my first ever requests/recommendations. One on the martial arts side that I think everybody would like would be 36th Chamber of Shaolin. Again, it's real guys, real skills, this time set in old school China, and fantastic. And my recommendation for a batshit crazy film is a Canadian-made film, came out about 2 years ago, Wolf Cop, about a police officer infected by lycanthropy, with the best movie tagline of the last several years, which is, like Dirty Harry, only hairier. Anyways, that's enough for me. Like I say, we'll see if I ever send you another one of these, but until the meantime, Mississauga, looking forward to next week's movie. Bye.
Well, there you go, Mississauga. That's
Mississauga holidays.
I was going to say.
Oh, you beat me to it.
Yeah, I'm not doing the years anymore. That's it. I've forgotten where I've put them. Anyway, yeah. So Mississauga, that's lovely. I tell you what, Wolf Cop. I've just Googled it.
I've seen it.
Have you?
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'll tell you what, I've got another suggestion for the next
And the
batshit crazy
37
one.
Chambers of Shaolin sounds good as well.
If we're
Go on.
doing that,
Yeah,
Kung Fury.
Kung Fury.
Kung Fury.
Oh,
That
yes.
as well. That is definitely batshit crazy.
Well, there you go.
Kung Fu Hitler from the past coming to the present.
And it's only 30 minutes long, so it doesn't stay out its welcome. You can just watch it 3 times.
Nice. Oh, that's good. Well, I'll be... Well, there you go. It looks like we're already gearing up for Batshit Crazy 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yep.
Right. Well, thank you very much for that, Eric. And, yeah, do send in more MP3 feedback. It's good feedback, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah, and I do agree with the Wolverine comparison. Little package of death. That's very good. And more I think about it, actually, yeah, he would have made a great Wolverine, to be honest. Yeah, rather than Hugh Jackman just swanning about with his muscles and veins and stuff. And terrible films. Anyway, sorry, getting distracted again. This is going to turn into another one of those. No, don't watch it. Don't watch X-Men Origins.
Films Lee doesn't want you to watch.
Yeah. Number 1. Fucking anything by Ridley Scott after 1993. So, yeah. Let's move on. Well, thank you very much again, Eric. Good feedback, sir. Thank you. Much appreciated. Let's move on to our next piece of feedback, which is from down in the Shires. We have Pete Stacker Hammond on his quad bike of quaddiness. Quaddy McQuadface. Let's hear what he has to say about the raid.
Ho, fucks, this is Stacker Hammond leaving some feedback for the raid. Oh, fuck me, that ain't going to heal on its own. I'm not normally given one forgiven for hand-to-hand combat films and kung fu films and whatnot, but bizarrely, I was turned on to this one years ago by none other than Trent Reznor on Twitter. He was banging on about it, and I thought, well, if he likes it, probably not too bad. Couldn't find it in the cinema, because, let's face it, an Indonesian film with subtitles being shown in Huntingdon, yeah, that's not going to fucking happen, is it? So, picked it up on DVD, and I think this is possibly the best way to see it, because I think the Netflix one is dubbed, and I don't think the dub works very well. I have seen the dub, and I don't think it works as well as the subtitled one. This version is scored by Mike Shinoda of Linkin Park, and I do think the soundtrack adds quite a bit to it. But, yes, I quite frankly absolutely adore this film. It's one of my revolving top 5. And it does, I will admit, go hand in hand with Dredd. But I'm not one of these people that say, oh, Dredd copied the Raid copied Dredd. For the record, I think Dredd was wrapped a good couple of months before the Raid even before the Raid even started filming, sorry. And the Raid was done almost entirely in Indonesia, so I don't think there was I think it's just one of those great Hollywood, not crossover conspiracies, but coincidences, that's the word I'm looking for. Anyway, yeah, so the Raid itself, fucking brilliant. I can kind of do without the story, if I'm honest. There's not a tremendous amount of story there, there's a bit of redemption for the US version, as the US version is called, I suppose. But it's the action and the characters where this stands up. I think the I think your big main bad guy, the way we're introduced, is absolutely fantastic. He's executing a rival gang. He runs out of bullets, goes to his drawer. Bullets or hammer? Yeah, fuck it, hammer, that'll do. And I think, oh, right, we're there, are we? Jolly good. But the action in this, it's non-stop. It is frenetic. Every punch looks like it fucking hurts. It's a particular fighting style as well. Is it called Marantau or something? And if you watch it, they go for the joints. They use their elbows and their knees a lot, but they're also punching the joints and like the elbows, the shoulders, the knees especially. And it's non-stop. And It's quite nice as well because you don't have goons lining up to be thumped. You have them all joining in at once, especially the final boss fight, as it were. Yes, they do kind of take turns to hit him, but it's mainly because they're fucked. They just look like they're absolutely knackered, and that's what I love about this film. There's no wire work, there's no sort of real effects to it. It's just people knocking the shit out of each other. In case in point, there is one shot, it's a bit blink and you miss it, but a chap gets thrown over a balcony into the stairwell and lands and looks like he breaks his back over the banister. Yeah, he actually did. Apparently, they did that shot. The guy kind of missed it or overshot or something and broke a couple of ribs. Spent some time in hospital, came back, watched the edit back and said, "Nah, that looks shit, mate. Can we do it again?" And they threw him over, and yeah, he actually landed like that and folded over the wall. He just, oh, fuck me. I also particularly like the jumping backwards, dragging the guy by the shoulder and impaling his face on the shards of the broken door. I think that's possibly my favourite kill of the entire film. But yeah, I absolutely fucking love this film. It's absolutely fantastic. Thoroughly recommend watching the subtitle version with the Mike Shinoda soundtrack. I think that's the definitive one as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, it's just a fantastic little film. Double thumbs up from me. Fuck all budget as well, about $2 million I think it was. Awesome movie. Anyway, cheers lads. Bye.
Bye. Anyway, yes, really liked it. Yes, that's good. I didn't know anything to do with the score. Don't know anything about the score, unfortunately. But yeah, the fighting style is called Silat. Silat. Oh, it could be called fucking anything. I won't pronounce it right. Yeah, what was I going to say? Oh God.
He said something about the score being made by Linkin Park, wasn't
Mike
it?
Shinoda.
Yeah. Is it Linkin Park? Or?
Yeah, he's from Linkin Park.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, well then that links you back to Crank. There was Chester from Linkin Park was in that scene with the
in the hospital.
Yeah, the inhalers.
Mm.
So that links it all back into a nice little circle.
Well, there you go. See, it's almost like we planned it. Fantastic work. Actually, no, I'll pretend we did play it. We did plan it. Anyway, right. Well, thank you very much for that, Mr. Hammond. Quad bike stacker Hammond bloke. Good feedback. Thank you very much. And lastly, we now move on to our last piece of feedback, which is the Orgs, which is Pete and Anne-Marie Organ, who do the Borgcast, which you can find on geekplanetonline.com, and you can find it on iTunes. And Pete also does Space Doc Jury with me and Andy, which you can find at spacedocjury.geekplanetonline.com and iTunes. And here's what they have to say about the raid.
Hello, chaps.
Hello.
The raid.
The raid, yeah. The first time I saw this, Matt Dillon brought it round, and I had anger issues at the time and described... Well, they were quite bad. I described this movie as insufficiently violent.
Which says more about you than anything.
Yes, it does. This time I enjoyed it, though.
Oh, dear. I mean, it just constantly going, ooh,
yeah, there was a lot of that. Yeah.
Insufficiently violent. Blimey, Charlie. I mean, it's not like the previous offerings, sort of Looney Tunes style. This is a little more grounded in reality, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I felt exhausted after watching it. Look, I'd taken a pummeling, blimey.
Yeah, it was very ballistic though, and that guy who I think he's also in The Force Awakens, the guy who puts down the guns and wants the fights.
Yeah, several of them are, but yeah, the guy with the straggly hair.
Yeah, he's cool. The way I mean, he's not as in you want to punch him, but as in the way he fights and everything. Yeah, I enjoy this.
So yes, it got an exhausting end to Batshit Crazy Month. So there we go. We look forward to peaceful times ahead.
Yeah.
Something perhaps more gentle like Bambi or something.
That's not gentle. Bambi's mum gets shot.
Yeah, but it doesn't get pummeled to death with somebody's bare hands, does it? That would be an altogether different film.
Why, you little... I shot you!
Stop! Stop! He's already dead.
Cheery bye.
Well, there you go. That about sums it up, doesn't it? I think Just punch him. He's already dead. Well, thank you very much for that, guys. Good feedback. Much appreciated. And like I say, if you want to hear more of them, do listen to the Borgcast, which you can find on borgcast.geekplanetonline.com, iTunes. And also, Anne-Marie joins us last week on Space Duck Jury and gets incredibly drunk and very angry about the internal workings of a Klingon bird of prey. Yeah, you can listen to that as well. Right, that's it. We've done it. We've reached the end of the feedback. Hallelujah. Thank you to everyone who sent in feedback, obviously, and thank you to everyone who's still listening, including my hosts.
We're still awake, honest.
Yeah. Honest? Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, Elton's gone. Elton's down.
Black Elton down.
Yeah. Which one's Elton? He's the one covered in shit. Which one? The one on the left. Which left? The left, do you know him? Sorry, I'm going to leave Black Hawk Down alone. Anyway, so it just leaves us to thank you all for listening. But before we go, obviously we have to tell you what we're doing next week. Well, we're not doing Batshit Crazy Month anymore, but we are doing a batshit crazy submarine movie.
We're doing people with bad accents in submarine movie season.
Yeah, which has a grand total of 1. Next week we will be shelling into history. Yes, with old Sean Connery as a Russian submarine pilot.
We will be shitting in their car park, listening to the rock and roll.
Yes, we'll be shitting somewhere else as well.
Welcome to the Long, Hard and Filled with Seamen month.
Moving slowly through water month. Starring Sean Connery shitting everywhere. If you hadn't guessed, we're doing Hunt for Red October. Sure. Has everybody seen the Hunt for Red October?
Yes,
of course.
Yes.
Thank you. I hope everyone's going to be perfecting their Sean shitting everywhere. Sean submarine shitting off the side. Sure. Are we looking forward to it?
Yes.
Now it's starting.
Only so.
It's starting to sound like we're turning into a Bane convention.
Yes.
Well, you live in the dark. I was melted by it. So anyway, yes. So we're all kind of looking forward to it, except for Jim who's show. Well, okay then. I've got nothing to add to that then. So there.
Jesus Christ.
Damn you, Memory Master.
Damn you.
Screw you, Memory Master.
Right, well then, in which case, I think we better leave, clearly, because it's clearly the wheels haven't just come off, someone's thrown some stingers across the road and the wheels have exploded.
Yep.
So before we go, who's got stuff to plug? Jim, tell us all about your wares.
Yes, you can hear me every week on my own podcast. And I'm trying to remember what the hell episode I'm up to.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I think you'll find.
That is correct,
which
yes.
ties in rather nicely with old Sean.
Indeed. But the comic book, not the shitty film.
Yes, not the
shitty film. And coming this weekend, a new episode in my never-ending Batman history.
Shuffling, Shuckatash, Batman. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. And where can we find all that, sir?
You can find that on iTunes, on Stitcher, and at Geek Planet Online.
Lovely. And what about you, Elton? What you got to plug?
Anything that I do, because I haven't put a podcast episode out recently.
You did. You put Schools up last week.
Oh, yeah, I put Schools up, didn't I?
See? Even Elton.
I can't remember. I'm so tired at the moment. My next episode will be about 8-bit music. I'm not too sure when it will be, but please do pop along and join me on the Mixler and join in the chat room and phone in on the Skype, and I'll let you know that. It'll all be up on shonkylab.com. All the details will be there.
Yeah, and may also feature on the Blackdog Facebook group as well, which I've given everyone free rein to post shit on. I'm saying it publicly now, so you actually do it, Elton. You can do it, mate.
Okie dokie.
Go for it. Cool. Okay. Well, then, in which case, you can hear me on Space Dock Jury every Sunday. You can hear that. And like I say, this week we talk lots of trick ships. Amory gets very, very drunk. There's a long conversation about how many Klingons you can fit on a bird of prey and what colour a Romulan bridge is, and other such enthralling topics, while I basically lose the will to live. And then, yes, and in a couple of weeks' time there'll be another one. So, join us on spacedockjury.com. spacedockjury.geekplanetonline.com. But anyway,
just Google it.
Just Google it. Fuck's sake! What do you want? What am I, your mother? Anyway, and Herc, have you got anything to plug?
Not yet, but soonish.
Oh, juicy dangler. Right.
That's the name of his second album.
It's that difficult third album. Right then.
Difficult, but not impossible.
Yes, the difficult fap. All right, in which case, I'm just going to leave it there. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you to all my hosts who are still alive. And thank you to all the listeners. I'm sorry. We'll see you all next week.
The wheels on the cars came flying off, flying off, flying off.
Right. So, yeah, that's it, really. Fucking hell.
I've met thousands of fascinating people, and I have some wonderful memories. But if you'd like to leave your loved ones more than happy memories, you might want to look at this, the AXA Sun Life Guaranteed Over 50 plan. It's the most popular plan of its type in the UK. From only £6 a month, it pays a fixed cash sum when you're gone, which could help towards funeral costs or be left as a cash gift. If you're aged 50 to 85, you're guaranteed to be accepted with no health questions. It's that straightforward. As long as you keep paying the premiums, the full cash sum is payable on death after you've had the plan for 2 years. For full details, call 0800 60 80 50. Your first month's premium is free, and you get a welcome gift. You'll receive a free Parker pen just for inquiring. You'll be in good company with the Guaranteed Over 50 plan, so why not call today on 0800 60 80 50 or visit over50plan.co.uk.